Another one.
Sounds happening. Welcome to another one, or another fucking one, as wasn't it calls it?
Yeah, another fucking one, Chris.
Episode whatever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna gamble, say 15.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is 14 actually.
Don't like the sound of these headphones. They're not as good as them ones.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Just trying to decide what I'm gonna do in my sleeves.
Do you want to swap?
Ah, fuck it.
Trying to decide how dressed up you're gonna be for the pod.
I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you ever have this? Should we introduce the guest first?
We haven't
done the intro, have you?
Yeah.
Sort your wardrobe out
We don't.
first.
Yeah, we don't need the intro though, do we? We've decided that another one, and then we can just loop that
another one, and then
another
just
fucking
fucking
one, another one.
We're not doing our brought to you by our desperate attempt to stay relevant. No.
Go on. Did you practice that?
No,
You demoed it, didn't you, fucking loser?
Just someone liked it once, so I've done it every pod since.
Who liked it?
I don't know, some woman. That's why I've done every pod since.
Kehoe's got the best mic as well. We're sort of with these fucking crowns around ours.
Yeah,
Kehoe's got the sleek in it.
That's the stuff I was wobbling. These are the ones called wobble.
Oh, really? No, it won't wobble as a sound.
Wobble in what way?
I don't know. What is he going to do that's going to make it wobble? Sitting in a wind tunnel. What?
Ours wobbles and doesn't make a noise.
All right.
Well, I still think that one's better for the face. So you're going to do the... You can do it if you want.
We'll just carry on now. Fuck
it.
You do it.
Well, I just don't think it's a desperate attempt to say relative.
Relevant.
Relevant.
Desperate attempt to be family.
Yeah.
Oh, one day.
Fuck that. Nah, fuck it.
So,
guess today.
Family, would I be moving up, or would you be dragging down? Do you reckon? How do you think it'd work?
I'd be dragged down.
You don't think I could move up then? No.
I don't know. What do you reckon, Chris?
Who would infiltrate the other family and then ruin it?
I mean, I don't know enough of your background.
Well, I think today, but tonight, he's going to tell you some shit.
All right.
Yeah, and then I think we'll find out. Maybe at the end, you could ask. We'll ask you. At the end of the podcast, we'll say, "Will he drag me down, or will I?" So, will you drag me down, or would I bring you?
Yeah, I'm trying to see whether I'd basically leave my working class roots behind.
Yeah, whether you'd become
I'd become middle class, or would you just be like just a standout toff? You always get in every working class family, you always get one standout toff, like uncle or something like that. Whether you'd end up being like that.
Right, someone that tries to.
Yeah, someone trying to fit in,
trying to better themselves, not just giving up. You got that little. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought that was not in there. I thought that had nothing coming out of it, but it actually has.
Right. I'd know by not being able to hear.
Right, so at the end of the podcast, we'll ask Chris what he reckons would happen.
Right, sound.
Whether I'd drag you down or you'd. I don't know what the other option is.
I'd become more middle.
We'd. I don't think we'd do that to you.
Yeah,
no.
whether you'd elevate.
No, I don't think we'd elevate him. I think you'd just be a working class lad in a dysfunctional family, and I'd just be a middle class lad in a dysfunctional family, and then that'd be it.
Yeah, you'd just be getting bullied by all your.
Maybe do that for the Patreon.
Nieces and nephews.
We'll go and live in each other's houses like a husband swap. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see how you burger on with me. I don't even know what you're like in the house.
You got to do it all.
I'm sure I might be. I don't know. I might be able to get on with you. I don't know what you like in the house. Never really took this
I'm never fucking in it, am I?
I know.
I'm either in the fucking car on stage or sat here. Fucking hell. Anyway, guest today, Mr. Chris Kehoe.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Star of the was once Mondeo Law.
Yeah.
Is now.
Is now Barely Legal, the comedy law podcast.
So you're going a bit more sex.
Yeah,
sex sells.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. So we're trying to sort of get some of the the lost sort of punters.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't what I wanted at all.
Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah.
Come for the barely legal sex and stay. For
so that was Boardman there saying that our podcast won't have much crossover, and now they're rebranding as Barely Legal Porn. Fucking Boardman reckoned he was too highbrow for this show. He resented being here from the jump, didn't he? He was like, I'm only here to do Rob a favour. Oh yeah.
We asked them back. I think I'm too old to be talking about the subjects you talk about.
Yeah.
It's like we literally talk about whatever comes up.
Yeah.
Why is it on doing his tax and he just to prove how old and out of touch with the youth he is? So,
I think he was going to come back on because I think he thought you were a safe guest to come on with. Because Jamie, I reckon he just got a cobble because Hutchison outshined him last time.
Yeah. Well, he's doing that to everyone at the minute, though, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
He's flying now, isn't he, the cunt? Fuck him. That's what I say. I sent him a message saying, you can fuck right off. Sick of your shit now.
With your 4,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cunt got 3,000 just to have a word. I think I got 3 when I
had
done
like
it.
1,200 initially.
Yeah, Twitter's shite anyway. Wouldn't fucking bother. It's the gram numbers that I'm looking at on him and thinking, he's done me now. He can fuck right off.
Every time I tell
it'll
him.
come crashing down for him anyway. And then he'll be back here wanting a spot.
The beef will get him
saving all his good stuff for Have a Word now. I could tell last time he was on. I could tell that he was sitting there holding back. I was thinking, you fucking cunt.
You rat.
Yeah. You could see in his... Oh no, I'll save that. I'll save that one. I'll save that as an exclusive for the whore boys.
Like when you know your bird's cheating on you because you can tell she's thinking of someone else as you thought.
Yeah. She stops giving a shit about you coming in late. Thinking, hey, what's going on here? So you're rebranding it as barely legal.
Yeah. Mainly because people were confused about the Mondeo element of it. Which
that was just because you recorded in a Mondeo, wasn't it?
Initially, that was what it was. But now neither of us own a Mondeo because it died, basically. It was my car.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it done like 250,000 miles.
They're not bad car. They're a good car.
It was good.
What plate was it? 57?
No, 59. Plate.
Nice.
It was all right, yeah.
You're going to hear about your dad's Mondeo now,
Yeah, I was just going to say.
The Wozniaks never get rid of a good Mondeo, Chris. It's the Wozniak family, yeah.
You never get rid of a good Mondeo. It's a slogan.
I traded it in so I bought a different car, right?
Right.
And traded mine in, and the guy went, it was fucked, my Mondeo.
Worth about 500 quid.
He's not even that. He's sort of like, it was. I could have sold it for maybe like 500 quid if a lot of pissing about, but it was like, I'll just drive it to him, and he sort of like said, I'll give you 200 quid to take it off your hands. So I was like, oh fuck, I'm not bothered anyway. Because he said, all we'll do is scrap it. You know what I mean? Because like, there were loads of stuff.
Yeah, it's worth about 370 scrap though.
Yeah. So it was like, I just thought, I'll just for the sake of ease, I'll let him do that. And then about a month later, the cheeky fucker phoned me up to say, was there like a spare key, like a second key with your Mondeo that you traded in with us? I said, I thought you were just scrapping it. He was like, oh no, our valet guy's been taking it up to come, so we're going to try and sell it. I was like, well, you only came with 200 quid for it, so I'll see if I can find a spare key and get back in touch with you. I was like, fuck off, I'm not phoning you up again.
Spare key out of me.
Not rooting around for a spare key.
And I said, I'll sell you the spare key for another 100 quid.
Exactly, yeah. And I have got a spare key for it, but I thought it's just sitting there and sort of dressing in like me, sort of like dressing table, going, right, fuck you, you're never having that.
So at least you can go and rob it now at some point when you find out where it is. Exactly. Should have put a little tracking device on it and just gone and stole it.
Yeah, so we ditched it, so we don't even have a Mondeo now. So that whole gimmick thing just didn't.
So you felt like you weren't being honest with the listeners, so you thought we can't record in a Skoda. Yeah. We can't do them nasty.
Exactly.
Did you consider buying another Mondeo just for the podcast?
I did. Out of respect for the show, I did think about getting a Mondeo, but then I just fancied a change. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I've got a Seat Leon.
Skoda law.
I've got a Seat
Leon law.
So we wouldn't call it Leon law because that sounds like someone who's come through the ranks at City or something. It's like someone's name. So so we've just gone full fucking rebrand.
And he's rebranding and starting again, or you're rebranding just carry on where we left off?
We're rebranding, starting again. So we've been pre-recording stuff to put out,
right?
Like as sort of what we did initially, which was basically like teaching people.
Yeah, so people who've been there from the start have to listen to it all again.
But except we're doing it in greater detail, so we're doing even more cases. So basically, say like we did 2 cases on murder last time, we're going to do 20, because there's loads of them. You know, so we're going to do that. And then sort of try and do some of the more like topical stuff that we do now. Do them sort of as asides from them because they can just crop up whenever there's a new.
Seems like a lot of work, that. Fair play. Do you know what I mean? Like having to get like a case and actually, but I suppose that's your thing, innit? So you sort of know about it already.
In theory, yeah. But I have to do a bit. So I went so far as to buy the main standard criminal law textbook that they have in universities.
Right.
And I'm literally just plowing through that and just.
Right.
So you're getting the full criminal law courses if you're at university, but told to you by a pair of dickheads, basically. You know
right.
So
do you reckon you could get a podcast that you could pass somebody an exam with?
I reckon, yeah. Well, that'd be great.
Yeah,
because we got someone saying, someone messaged us saying that they went to university to study law on the back of listening to our podcast.
Oh wow!
Because they always thought that law wasn't for them, like that. It was like too snobby. But then
they realised you two dickheads could do it.
Exactly. You're like damned with fame.
I swear I saw this dickhead above a pub talking about a pack of quavers. How the fuck's he gonna be defending some nonce?
Exactly. So it was at first I thought that's really nice, and then I came to that line of thinking, well, hold on, that's just fucking saying if you can do it, anything.
Yeah. Well, I've seen. I remember giving a gig in Hot Water with a guy who was like a barrister. He didn't go on again or anything, and he was dreadful. Yeah. But like you're just thinking like that guy's like you just look at them and thinking, are they going to be good or they like?
I'd hate to know my barrister's done comedy. Could I just be like, what are you thinking about? Yeah. When you stand up, when you should be thinking about how to save
that with
my
a
arse,
teacher, though, isn't
and
it?
you're just fucking there, like thinking about the fact that you died. And imagine on a Tuesday, cunt hasn't beat the gong, and he's thinking, I'm taking all them cunts down with me.
Yeah, I'm not paying you 300 quid an hour so you can start writing shit jokes at your desk.
Some fucking scousers won the gong on a Monday, and I rock into his office and he goes, "You're fucking getting it."
Yeah.
3 minutes 15. Watch this.
Yeah, there is certain professions that you go like, I don't want. Like teacher is another one, isn't it? That's where you got to try and keep it a bit secret sometimes because people will have a go at you for being like, if you're in charge of their kid and then they find out you're on stage.
Yeah. It's like that credibility thing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never mentioned my wife's name on this podcast, and I never will for that reason.
Yeah.
So I want people Googling it.
Yeah, I
Googling me and then trying to find her.
I try and keep my sort of, I try and keep like a wall between the two. You know what I mean? As best I can. I mean. But advertising the facts in a podcast isn't probably the best thing. But I don't say specifically who I work for and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I try and think it. But thing is that I don't have a different name, so I don't have a stage name. It's my real name.
You probably should have a stage name.
I should have done, but when I realised that
it was too late,
you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm dead fine. I'm really easy to find. So like defendants in some of my cases, if I'm prosecuted them, I've had people sort of phone. I've had people messaging me going, I see that you're on at such a place on Thursday night, and I'm like, oh fucking hell.
Really, people that you get sent down, and then
they,
oh mate, that is terrifying.
Yeah,
I imagine,
sent down for what though?
I imagine none of them have turned up.
No,
they haven't been sent down. If they messaged them, have they?
No, exactly.
You just get phone in jail, mate. You know this. You know this.
But it's always at the back of my mind that I am really easily because of my surname as well. It's not a particularly common name. So
you know what you need? A rebrand. Barely Kehoe.
Barely legal Kehoe.
Yeah, and it's always there because if you put my name into Google, like, it's me. You know what I mean? Because there's not many people got my name.
Have you had like genuine threats, or just like?
No, I've had sort of like opposition lawyers say it to me in so much that in the mind, everyone thinks that they're like fucking Jose Mourinho or something.
Yeah,
like,
trying to mind game
before and like going, I was looking into you and I see that you do this.
I'll be like that.
So does that happen in the law game? Like, really? Like they'll try and be like,
it's all that pretty much.
I'd massively do that, me. Yeah. You know what I'm like anyway.
You think that would go on? Well, you think that would go on, but then I would think, nah, it doesn't, because surely that's like not allowed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's a competition. You're allowed to. It's
all a game. Yeah. As long as that there's rules in court and all that.
But if you were to then go and grass and go, he's been trying to intimidate me, that solicitor, by sending me these messages, blah, 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 would they not go? Well, you shouldn't be doing that.
You got to prove that.
It's not really intimidating. Yeah, there's rules of conduct. Within
like him saying, "Oh, I've seen you do stand up." By the way, isn't intimidating, is it? Well, he knows what they're trying to say is.
Yeah, exactly.
But surely, if it was in the time period during a case, that would be like, all right, that's not. No.
It's still
fellow professionals aren't allowed to be friends.
So you just
stand.
Right.
Yeah, well, because you'll be against people that. Like,
so what would be
another way that you'll have a case where you're on the same side? You know what I mean? So.
Right. So what would be like an example of when someone's tried to say get in your head and say something like?
Whereas with that, it was this particular solicitor who's based in Manchester. I won't say his name, but I know he's a crook though as well.
Yeah.
And so he'll try and do anything to.
So is he like an ex-crook, or is he like?
No. I just happen to know.
He's just dodgy.
He's just dodgy, basically. Yeah. And he was basically sort of pointing out that to me that he'd done a lot of research about me, which is weird because you wouldn't do that. Really,
I would.
You know, but that's what he did. I
play for people who fancy football, and I research them. I'm a prick, me.
So he said that to prove to me that to try and get one over on me. But then I just researched. I just googled his name and like came up with this sort of like he'd been investigated and nearly struck off a couple of years earlier.
Yeah.
So I asked him how that was going on, and he's fucking shut up after that. You know what I mean? So I was like, "There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing." You know what I mean? But it's like. Just like cut through all that shit and just tell us what your actual client's going to do. You know, I'm not bothered.
So what do you like to, what are your cases predominantly, or are they anything? Are you what?
Well, I work.
Are we allowed to mention what you actually, because
Yeah, I work in house, so I have one client. I work for a police force. So I do. I do that. So, and it's like operational sort of work that I do. So, but I can't, as you can imagine, I can't say a lot about what it is. Go on.
See, he's probably more up to date with all this because he's the crook.
First thing I'm thinking is he's a grass.
I know, yeah, exactly.
He's fucking massive grass. That's what I'm about to ask you, because you're like a lefty socialist, very similar to me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you not have any like sort of barrier of like where like Is there a biddy that makes your skin crawl like you're helping the police?
So, yeah, sometimes, yeah, if I'm being honest. But I work at what I actually do though. Like the work I do is actually all right. Like it's like I'm sort of assisting individuals, and I can see the sort of victims and all that you're helping. You know what I mean? So I frame it in that way.
So you will help individual officers rather than.
Yeah.
And say I went into a magistrate's court like road traffic, I wouldn't come up against you then.
No, because that'd be like the CPS, like so the Crime Prosecution Service. So they would be prosecuting, whereas I sort of do work that does really, it sort of helps with like, you know, victims of like domestic violence and sex offences and stuff like that. So
the juicy stuff. None of this road traffic shite.
So
boring.
Yeah, but that's how I justify it to myself.
Yeah,
because that is actually what I do. You know what I mean? But but I do have, there is a bit of me that's like, you know, that has an issue with what I do. You know what I mean? So
because I just imagine, because like I couldn't do it, like, but then I imagine I'm a lot scummier than what you are, sort of thing.
But have you got any mates that are busies?
One, and I don't trust them.
No,
I've never met a busy who just hasn't.
Some of them are bent as fuck.
I've never met a busy who hasn't had an air of arrogance to them.
Yeah, that's because that's the authority in it.
Oh, there's just something about every busy I've ever met. There's something about I think.
Yeah, but that's a lot. That's the same. That is a lot of busies, ex-busies. They reckon they're the shit because they reckon they're part of the biggest gang, don't they? Like they reckon they can do anything to anyone and get away with it, which they kind of can. Do you know what I mean?
To a certain degree.
Yeah, but
they can and they can't. Sort of thing. It's like every busy's just a normal person.
No, but busy ones. If you're getting arrested,
the clubbers off,
and then they'll just go, "I'm just going to give him a fucking dig."
Oh yeah, you get all of that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They think they can. I don't know.
Do you ever have to defend them in cases like that?
I don't do the misconduct stuff,
right?
Thankfully, because it
will
be
hard,
nightmare.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's quite interesting, that line of work. But it's always just people that have like been doing like like people that have been like running a business from their police van, you know. So while they're out doing the rounds, they're off sort of delivering sort of milk with it, or like literally people taking the piss like that.
Really,
like random.
Busy's doing that.
Something shit.
It's very, very few. It's not like they're all doing that. Like every police van full of milk. You know,
what a fucking stupid cunt would do. Selling milk.
Yeah, I gave that as an example. That's not a real example, but there was one that was selling. He had a business that was selling things, and he was moving the stuff around that he was selling. It was all legal, except for the fact he was doing it in his police van while he was at work.
Right.
So because he didn't have a van of his own, so he was like, I know I can get hold of a van. Like, so he's driving around.
But surely he's had to take his car to work to fill a police van up to then go and do that.
Yeah. So basically, he wasn't doing his job. That's what he got sacked for.
Yeah.
Right. So he's supposed to be like on patrol. And he's actually just taking the van and doing his sort of milk delivery work.
Sounds like me when I was working for a company that went bust on the railways. And I was meant to be doing my work. All I was doing was just robbing copper. just driving their van round to different scrap metal sites while I sold the copper.
How long did you get away with that for?
I've done it loads of times.
All right, okay.
It wasn't just like, you don't just like do it permanently. It's like when the job's coming to an end, you got loads of roles left. It's like, right, well, what's not going to get missed? Or
gypsies, isn't it? Selling copper.
Mate, just loads of money. That's why. Gypsies are the best for stripping it. Because like, there's two ways.
Robbing horses as well.
There's two ways of like selling copper. You can to sell it to a scrapyard. It comes in armoured cable and plastic. And it's got like 4 or 5 layers of plastic on it. So to sell it to a scrapyard, you've got to strip it all down. And it takes fucking hours. But that's how you get your most money.
Right.
Whereas the other way
it saves them the labour.
Well, no, they're not allowed to have it, basically.
Oh, right.
Because like, they'll have property of Network Rail or something inscribed on it. So you got to get rid of all that shit.
Shout out Network Rail.
So I remember one time I was robbing some cable, and some gypsy just comes over to me and goes, "Oh, you don't want to be doing that." Like, in that, you had a very strong I don't even know how you describe a gypsy accent, but you know, the Irish Romany sort of, and the next thing he starts going like that, and it's just clean as a whistle. I'm like this, trying to just like inscribe it, taking fucking 3 or 4 minutes, doing 1 meter piece, and he's done 3 or 4.
Like when you see them
just
videos
like
of
that.
some guy in like an Asian market who can just slice things dead quick.
That's what it was like, and I was literally a little bit in order. I'm like, fucking hell, just watching him just cut through this fucking plastic, like. And he was teaching me how to do it, and I fucking made up.
Well, someone must have done that. I used to work one summer when I was at uni. In the summers, I used to work for like my dad's an electrician, so I used to work for like his.
Oh, so he's robbed loads of copper.
So, yeah, exactly. So he used to work for his like subcontract firms or whatever. And I was working on.
So you're both robbing coppers, really?
Yeah, exactly. And there was I was working on it was a plant on in Knowsley.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to get that clipped. I didn't want to. I knew he was going to fuck. Oh yeah, I'll clip that. Oh, God.
So go on, sorry.
I was working on a plant in Knowsley, right?
Yeah.
You know where the Liverpool's training ground is now? It's that same site there.
That won't be clipped, by the way.
And
out of principle.
And
twice I've had it
over like dinner hour. So we had one of these massive like drums of like that cable you were talking about. It's like that thick, innit? You know.
We can get it like you can get like 3 core, 4 core.
I can't remember which core it was. It was a big one though.
Yeah.
You know, like with the drums like that high off the
floor.
And like in the space of it could only been in 2 hours. So from sort of like tea break up to sort of dinner time. Someone had been in, taken it, rolled it to the top end of the field, and completely fucking stripped it of everything. It was a full roll of cable. It must have been like to do that in 2 hours. Like the foreman was going mental.
There must have been about 20 of them.
There must have been loads of them. Yeah.
You can get machines that you can throw it through that strip it, but they're like grands.
Yeah.
But if your living is robbing cable, it's probably worth it.
With the investment.
But for someone like me, who was just like a little bonus every
so
3
how
or 4
much
months.
could you make from it? I don't understand how much. How much could you make from selling copper?
Thousands.
So how much were you making?
Well, it depends on the size of the drum, but like, the last time I'd done it, I got sacked for it, but I didn't get caught.
So a meter of copper.
I was the sacrificial lamb.
Right.
So I'll tell you that story in a minute. But I think we must have got off with about, I'd say 1,800.
So what? I've got no reference to like how long or how much.
That was about 3 little drums.
I don't know. What's a drum?
Oh, you know when you see them cables and they're wrapped around a big wooden sort of pallet?
Right.
It's a circle.
Okay,
it's not a square. That's the circle one's called a drum.
Right.
So a square's a pallet, a circle's a drum. So when you see them on the back of like lorries and they're wrapped and like these big black cables are wrapped around something. That's a drum. So like little ones, but yeah.
I'm not going to get into it. So. I don't think I'm a bit too late in the day to get into the copper selling game.
You wouldn't even know what's copper.
Struggling to picture what a drum looks like.
The problem is,
Chris has seen enough people that struggle to understand stuff. He's gone, he still hasn't got a fucking clue.
You wouldn't even know what copper was because you just see a drum and go, I'll have that.
Well, copper to me is like
fucking
a tiny little shitty
broadband or something.
Yeah, but copper to me is just like this tiny little thin shitty bit in the wall.
These are like that thick. And there's like 3 or 4 of them that fucking meters long, sort of thing. Right. Yeah, so I'll tell you the story. Like, so we were robbing it. Last time we were robbing it, we had a greedy boss, and he always wanted to cut. He was fine when you're robbing a cable off the company, but as long as he got his cut.
All right, like a mafia.
Yeah, basically like a little prick, and he.
I don't think that was the way we were thinking of
the mafia pricks.
Yeah, the mob boss, the prick.
But the last time we'd done it, he took the money. He kept taking all the money and then was dishing it out. And obviously, fucking, if you knew how much you'd sold it for, you knew you were getting had off. And then the last time he took all the money and then didn't give us any, and the boss was wearing a piss with it. So it was like, fucking cut the middleman out. I'd shown up. Like, I wasn't there when this stuff was happening. I'd shown up later on, and I got the fucking nod. You go and fucking grab that, take all that away. So as the shot coming to an end, the other thing, because I'm good at making mates, I'd already gone all the scrap he'd made all mates with them all sort of thing. So I'm going back, seeing them all getting selling it, and he
it sounds like
he knew
they just used you. You said you're good at making mates, but then you took the hit. Sounds like we'll get him. Pretend to be his mate and then
mates with the scrapyard, not mates with the lads and who was selling cable. They were family. So robbed a load, and the boss, like, he didn't know, but he knew. Like he knew, like, and he's like, "This fucking copper go missing here. I'm not getting my beak wet."
Yeah.
And he wasn't happy about it. And So there was this one time I'd done it, and I borrowed the because I was working with all the Sparks, and I borrowed the civvies flat pack. Now civvies are civil engineer ground worker basically.
Right.
I borrowed their flat pack to rob it all, and they'd fucking chainsaw to fucking go through it all, and I took that.
Sounds like such a lot of effort.
You're leaving a long, big audit trail to lead straight back to you.
The company's gone completely bust. So
Right, okay.
do you mean back then, or do you mean now?
Back then.
Back then I was, yeah. I just didn't give a fuck because I knew I was going anyway, sort of thing. I just wasn't meant to go that quick.
Right.
So I took it, I robbed it all.
Nothing to lose.
And then Liverpool were playing in the Europa League at the time, and it was a 6 o'clock kickoff, and I'd gone, I can take this flat pack back and swap it for get back in the work van, but I'm going to miss the game if I do that. So I was like, called up the civvy, went, can I keep the flat pack? And I'll bring it back in the morning. And he's going, oh yes, sound, no problem. So I took the flat pack back to the hotel. The boss stays in our hotel, so he's seen that and gone, why the fuck's he in a civvies flat pack? Then realised, I know what that cunt's been doing. I knew there's copper going missing. So then I'm getting up. I watch the match, bloody well, I go to bed, and he doesn't bring it up all night. But I seen him all night being a bit frosty with me, but he's not bringing it up. He hasn't even asked me why I've got it. He's pretending he doesn't know I've got it because I parked it around the back of the way as well. So hoping he doesn't see it, but obviously he's seen it. So then 5 o'clock in the morning I get up. No one normally gets up till 6, 7. I go at 5 to go and take it back, and he's waiting for me. So what time he's got up and got dressed from, I don't know. But he was waiting for me because he's waited till he heard my footsteps go past his door, and then he's let me go out, get in the flat pack.
This is the end game.
And then drive round.
Right.
And then he's come back.
Into movie mode.
He's come back and gone. So then he stopped me outside the hotel at 5 in the morning. I'm like, fuck's sake. So I'm there like, wait, story. Trying to in my head. He pulls up, why are you in the flat pack? Oh, I had to borrow off the civvies because I had to move some shite. Like, wasn't saying scrap, like move shite. Why have you kept the flat pack? Well, the lipper match was on. Didn't want to miss it. Obviously, we shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I know. Why is that chainsaw there? Oh, the civvies must just left it in there.
At this point, did you know it was over?
Oh, I knew he knew, but I fucking denied. Fucking don't incriminate yourself at any point.
Yeah.
So,
no comment.
Yeah, it's just fucking just straight away.
So, I can't do that. I end up commenting. I'm like, no comment, did you? What do you mean, did I?
Did I what? Not that, no.
Yeah.
So then I went
no
back,
comment, and then just say something after it.
brought the flat pack back to the yard. Was there about 4 or 5 days later, and then he just comes to me and goes, listen, we're having to lay a few lads off.
Right.
The last in, first out and all that. And I was like, all right, yes, sound, no worries. And got off. But that made me money at that point. I wasn't arsed, but I think I had another 6 weeks on the job, and I was thinking, fuck it, I've made more than 6 weeks' wages. Just took it and fucked off. Just took the nod and fucked off. But then I found out later, I basically, I was the fall guy. I was like, well, someone's getting sacked.
Right.
And it was a case of, well, fucking sack
Right,
him.
okay.
Like,
So do you reckon that the other lads sort of like play, like set you up for that? In that?
No, in the sense that like,
No, he'd never admit that anyway. You know what I mean? He'd never say that he got played.
No, it wasn't.
Because
it was the other one. It was the other lad's permanent job, and two, it was a case of him trying to like, cause he couldn't catch us. He was fuming about it.
Right.
So someone was getting like laid off, and so he was just going to find an excuse. So that's all it was.
Warning shots.
So literally, he laid one lad off because he was shite, and he laid me off as well. And then they asked me, did I want to go back 2 weeks later? But at that point, it's like, I'm home now. Fuck it. Like, I'm not going back for 4 weeks to fucking do that. It was literally a case of like fucking, I'm laying him off to warn all yous that, you know, you can get laid off as well.
Right.
Well, I should have went back 2 weeks later, just robbed more cable and got laid off again.
Got sacked again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was.
Well, I don't know.
I might as well just say how killing that company was. Well, you know, when he went bust a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
Part of you was like, oh well, I fucking played my part in that.
So I just don't.
Everyone played the part in Woolworth's demise.
Yeah, Robin Bickermich.
Yeah, that's more my lane. That's more my lane. I can talk about the Robin from Woolworths and just shoplifting, but Robin Copper's too professional for me. Well, I just end up robbing and go, what now? I've just got loads of copper. Yeah. Where do I go with this shit? I'm like, fuck this.
You're like
I want to rob something that I want.
You're like somebody in the pub who wears something valuable, so they get it and they're like, well, it's not valuable because I can't sell it.
Yeah. I was like that. I mean, when people like steal like famous works of art, I was like, what do you do with it? You're not going to.
Yeah,
you
have to be professional.
House, you know what I mean? You must have.
Well, the thing is,
you've got to be a professional.
Well, you know, someone's going like, we'll go on the rob. Like when Harlan was saying he'll go on the rob to get something to go out with and all that. I just don't know. Like, obviously, I just don't think it's the world I've ever been in. So I just don't know where you're robbing. I can sell that in Like, you know, like smackheads going, "Oh, I'll rob this," and I can say, "I'm like, but where to who?"
Well, cheese. So like you've always got, because cheese is always so expensive. Like
and meat,
£3 for a block. They go and rob cheese and sell it for £1, and everyone fucking two-thirds off the price. Stuff like that.
I would not want to buy my cheese off someone for a quid.
Some bloke in
if some smackhead come up to me with a block of Cathedral City and have that for a quid, I go, no. I'll pay $3.50 myself.
You've not been in the environment, whereas I know I've sat in the pub before, and I know the smackhead's gone to the shop, which is half a mile down the road, and come in with loads of cheese and stuff and gone, "Who wants one?" It's like, all that's happened is he's gone from that shop half a mile up the road, and I've gone, "Yes, sound."
Yeah. There was a bloke who used to go to one of the pubs around the corner from my mum and dad's when I lived there. He used to sort of like go shoplifting to order, like a bespoke sort of
used to do
shoplifting.
That where I was. He'd come in and go, "Lads, what you want?"
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I want a shirt, 15.5 colour. Be back in a minute."
Fucking like, Amazon, the original. It was Jeff Bezos. This man, it turned out to be Jeff Bezos.
No, that used to happen. Like,
you get it within half an hour of ordering it. It's great.
It was never so much a share, but I know people used to like, right, "Who wants what?" sort of thing. Go, "I need a leg of lamb." Right, so I'll go and get that.
I know people have like robbed meat because that is price. Like, you know, you rob 10
any price that you can turn over quickly, like blades. How much you pay for?
That's why they have security tags on them, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're dead small, like razor blades, because they're really small, so they're easy to steal
and dead valuable.
And if someone says, "Do you want to buy them for £2?" You know, like no one's got any qualms about buying something like razor blades from someone in the pub. You know,
dead valuable.
Well, a pack of razor blades is like £6 or £7.
Oh, they
yeah. So and like you just said, they're tiny, so you can grab 10 of them, and you can sell them for £20 straight away.
They've put security tags on cheese, haven't they?
Yeah, some shops put it behind the counter
as well.
Yeah.
What else is getting tagged? Johnny's got tagged.
An area's rough when the cheese is behind the counter.
Johnny's, they're getting tagged, weren't they? There was a time when they weren't tagged. They're now tagged.
Are they?
Well, they're £12 a pop, aren't they? Sometimes?
Aren't they because of age? I haven't bought.
I don't think it's for age, is it?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
No, you go to the clinic and get Johnny's for nothing, can't you? Whatever.
I've no idea. I've been with the same woman.
I'm
for
forever in the clinic getting Johnny's that I don't need. It just turns me on. I just get horny and go. Yeah, I just get horny and go to the receptionist. More Johnny's, please.
He just comes out like looking at all the kids. Look at Simon the Shagger.
Imagine it was just turning you on, just getting Johnny's. I still maintain that it's still funny if you buy condoms. When I used to work on a checkout, and then it'd take you by surprise in the basket, and you're going, and you look at them, don't you? You're thinking like that. You're sizing them up. I was thinking some 39-year-old guy who's a little bit podgy, and that you're thinking, fuck off. What are you getting these for, you cunt? I was like, you don't need them. Stick them behind. Put them in the basket to go back on the shop floor.
I assume someone left them in before you.
Are these yours? Yeah, no, I still think it always made me laugh if someone had Johnny's.
Well,
because then you
they are
there's an
inherently
intention.
funny
they
items,
are,
aren't they?
Like, what are you going to do with it? Stick it on your hard dick? It just makes me laugh.
He's laughing at hard
What else are they going to do with it? It's just like, no, that is what you're going to do. You're going to come in that, you dirty bastard. You fucking dirty cunt. And you're going to come with it soon as well. It's not like it's not like he's getting them for like future. But maybe you're getting them for your son, maybe. And you're going, he doesn't want to go for it. Maybe you're getting it for your son.
So that's better. Your son's going to come in.
No, but say it's like, you're 45.
Protecting his son.
Your son doesn't want to go and get Johnny's, but you might need them. Do you know what I mean? So your dad takes the hit. I'll go get them.
I'm past the age of embarrassment, son.
Yeah. I just think it is, like you say, it's inherently funny, isn't it? It is. It's just funny. Like,
just as items, just like to look at. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean just as
everything about them. I think is really weird.
It's just awkward someone knowing you're gonna have sex soon.
Well, you go to self-service, don't you? Don't be an animal and just go to self-service. If you're gonna get Johnny's, go to self-service.
No, you go and find the fittest cashier there is. Go on hers and let her know you're shagging.
Well, just get like 5 out. Johnny's, lube, pot noodle, Kleenex. Bang all that through.
No, I don't want to think of having a posh wank. I wanted to think I'm shagging. Yeah. So she immediately goes, oh, well, other women are after him, so he must be desirable.
3 for £5 on the beers.
Yeah, he's thrifty too.
And then scan it through and then question the price. Just
I've Sharpied me Lloyd's current account card.
12,
So it looks like a black card.
12 quid. How much are they? Sorry. I might do that, that'd be quite funny, that. Going in and then putting the Johnnies through and then go, how much? No, taking it back.
Fucking have the kid.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to have the kid.
No, I'll just get a 3-pack, get a smaller pack. That'd take balls to do that.
So, have you ever worked at a job that you could benefit from by being a bit snide?
No, not well. Obviously, you could rob stuff from the shop or from like an office, shit stuff. But there's no, so, I mean, nothing like you can actually benefit from.
Not when you've had like a decent screw.
No, not. Well, you could. John Lewis.
I've had a decent screw on.
John Lewis, you could rob from the storeroom. Like there's a few people that were on the graph there, but they would have these random spot checks of your bag when you're leaving.
Yeah.
But like I think some people there were on, pocketing a few aftershaves and all that sort of shit. And I don't know whether anyone damaged it or something. But I mean, some of the sample bottles maybe. But then you'd have the spot check at the end of every shift, and they'd sort of look through your bag and that, and then you've got the receipt for that, you got the receipt for this. But But I never robbed anything from there. I'm too much of a shithouse.
Working in a warehouse is the job for that, isn't it? People who work in warehouses. My uncle used to work in a warehouse.
I know someone used to work in the Amazon warehouse. I bought an iPad off him. You can get fucking all sorts.
So how do they get it out?
Well, it's just stuff that's like doesn't get delivered. Like where there's been like a sort of breakdown in this sort of chains of communication.
Well, obviously Amazon. I mean, you can rob from Amazon yourself by being a customer, can't you? Just never showed up, or send you another one. Nice one.
Yeah.
So like that's like such a workaround, isn't it?
Yeah, I do that with the Asda.
But yeah,
you said that.
My uncle used to be able to just get stuff like. He said to me once, do you want a drum kit? I don't know where that, like randomly. I was like,
you do look like someone who'd want a drum kit, don't you?
I was like,
I forever wanted a drum kit. I was wondering when you were going to ask me that.
Finally, someone's asked me. I said like, yeah, that'll be cool. And he went, all right, I've got one for you. And like literally the next day, I brought a fucking drum kit round to our house.
Legit full
kit. Yeah.
What was that worth? Like grand?
No, it's probably like 300 quid or something like that. It wasn't a brilliant one, but
it was still
free
drum
kit. Fucking hell.
So I stuck it in the. We used to have a lived in house.
But that was that back in the day though, when it was a little less sort of. I imagine robbing from. There's got to be things in place to stop people being on the robbing factories.
I'm sure there is, but if you're handling that much stuff, things just things will just go missing. Like get dropped.
I suppose they have a budget, don't they? For like
it's just
miscellaneous stuff.
I've got a mate who works with wagons now. He's a mechanic, fixes wagons. And anytime anything decent comes in on a wagon, slash the box and just take and just. I
think they have
the whole box can't move on.
I'm sure when I worked at John Lewis, there was the manager or something told me that they factor in theft and loss into everything, which is like 20%. So I suppose that sort of
every shop does that, even Lidl. My man used to be a manager at Lidl, and like the budget they give them for staff is shit, because like the reason everything's so cheap is because they run off of skeleton staff. So what he used to do when he needed stuff done was like he worked in the one in town. He had loads of students working for him. So we just go, listen, come and do your big shop.
Well, no, I'll just
take it
through, right?
And I'll put
scan it through. Just lift it over.
Just go and do your big shop, take it home, and I'll put it through as loss. But then you owe me 4 hours, sort of thing. So they get a load of students do overtime. Little.
Oh right.
You get a load of students doing overtime for them for nothing, because what they've done the big shop. So the big shop was like 80 quid. Charge the 3 flatmates 15 quid each, and that's their money for the 4 hours.
That'd have been great. That. Yeah, as a student, that'd have been better than being paid money. Like just filling your.
If you can get more on your big shop than what you're doing, then
well, that's it. So they get like 80 quid, and they get 45 quid in cash.
How it should have been before money was introduced.
45 quid in cash.
You do this for me, and then I'll give you paying an actual product, not this fucking fake stuff. Yeah. Now, some people, when I was at the co-op, I think some people lifting, the scratch cards. Do you know what I mean? Right. Fucking taking off a ream and having a go or something.
Yeah, but you gotta scan them and say they've been paid for, otherwise they won't pay out.
I know, but I don't know how anyone gets away with robbing anything.
Oh well,
because I'm fucking stupid. When I haven't got a clue.
I used to do big events on the burger vans, and cause you just rob left, right, and centre off them. So when you're the races and like a burger that should be £1 is £10 for burger, chips, and a drink. You just do 10 of them. and you just pocket the £100 in your pocket and never put it through the till, sort of thing. And then you just and then every now and you do one for you, one for them, one for you, one for them. So you'd have like a set amount that you wanted to rob that day, and once you've robbed it, then you just.
But aren't they monitoring the stock?
And the bell goes, and you target and all
Do
that.
they monitor the?
Yeah, but again, to Burger Van on say the National. You're going through that much stock, they can't possibly monitor it, like how much falls on the floor. The only problem was only problem was like the bottles of Coke and that, but then they were so unorganised because it's just fucking that much. It's that manic that they'd never fucking check it anyway, sort of thing. And the money they make on them vans, like you're talking 30,000-40,000 a day.
So would you just throw out 10 burgers?
Sorry, 30,000-40,000 an event. So like say one van would make 10 grand a day.
Right.
So like. Fucking just didn't.
So say there was would you just to make the all balance? Could you throw away 8 burgers and then pocket 8 times £8, something like that?
Yeah, you'd say you throw away 8 burgers.
Right. So 8 fell on the floor, put them in the bin, and then really you'd sold them and
just put the money in your pocket.
Right.
But they're still making 10 grand anyway. So
that's a good hustle. That one I'd probably be a bit more okay because I thought I don't think I can get caught on that. Burger van's not going to have much fucking security, is it? Not
the only way you get caught is if they go like no one can have anything in the pockets, and then come at the end of the shift they go empty.
Right, yeah. Stick it in your sock.
But that's a lot of hassle from though as well, isn't it? You know what I mean?
They're never going to do that.
It's just cheaper for
them. They're
them.
never doing that because the supervisor's probably doing it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most of them are owned by one family.
Self-monitoring system where everyone just goes like, "We'll all agree to be a bit fucking bent."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
like the police.
yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think what else.
Isn't it?
What else? What other screws have had?
I was gonna because I did a thing on my Instagram saying, any questions to ask the barrister. So if there's any pedos or sex offenders on me followers, let me know. A mate of yours can be going through a case in a minute, or could be going through something. Do you want me to let them know anything? And one asked, obviously, how'd you get away with murder? Because I asked you how you'd get away with murder.
Yeah, I said the way I'd do it.
What's the best way?
Is if I killed someone, I'd chop them into many little pieces. And then on my way to gigs, I'd
just drop them off in different places.
That's what drop them off in different places.
I've thought of that,
but never the place where I'm gigging. Like places, not on the way, but on the way. If you get what I mean. So
Rob's doing a lot of gigs in Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I was going to say loads of body parts outside hot water.
Say I'm gigging in Manchester. Say I'm gigging in Manchester. I might do a little detour to Bolton.
Yeah,
it's like it's 40-minute detour, but. Bang! There's half an arm.
I can't believe you would only go to fucking Bolton for a fucking murder.
You got to make it. You still got to go my gig. I can't leave the house at 5 o'clock to go for a gig in Manchester.
Well, you can't just leave at 3. Nip over to Birmingham.
Yeah, and then
they go for 5.
And then they go
drop it off, and then you'll be at the.
When they ask me wife, what time do you leave the house? And she goes 3 o'clock.
Ah, yeah, but you just say you went to see your mum for a minute. If that's your biggest concern is your wife when you're dropping off body parts,
listen, my
mate.
concern's witnesses. Trust no cunt.
So go on. What would?
How would I advise people to get away with murder?
Are you allowed to talk about that?
Probably. I wouldn't give it call it legal advice. To be
right. But nowadays, what they use
what's
to
got to
catch
happen?
people.
Sorry, talking over here. What's got to happen for it to be murder? It always needs to be body, doesn't it, for it to be murder? Or is that not the case anymore?
It doesn't have to be the case necessarily. Obviously, a body's good evidence of having that someone's died, but you do sometimes see murder cases where the body's never found,
right?
Because the theory of the case is such that
strong enough.
It's strong enough that you can do that. So you don't need a body, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But basically, what you need to have done is to have effectively killed someone intentionally, in essence. So you've taken the life but you had the intention to either kill them or cause them grievous bodily harm. Yeah. And then if they've died as a result of what you've done, then that's murder.
Right.
I mean, it's like if you wanted to get away, like I reckon there's loads of murders.
That's what I mean. There's loads of unsolved. There's loads. Surely there's loads of unsolved murders, isn't there?
How many times do you think there's murder where the police don't even clock it's murder?
That's what I mean. I think there's probably quite a bit of that. To be honest with you, I think especially this is entirely speculation on my part. Yeah. But within sort of the old people community.
Yes. Yeah.
I can imagine that
hundreds of the cunts.
That there's I reckon women after years and years of living with some fucker. Yeah. Just think, one day, I'll just fucking pull over his head. It'll just be another old bloke who's died in his sleep overnight, you know what I mean?
Well, would there not be, if they had to do
post-mortem?
Yeah.
There would be evidence of a
suffocation. You said strangulation, didn't you? That's what you do.
So justify it.
Because there'd be no murder weapon.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, but then there's
ligature marks, whatever.
Yeah,
they're called.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, that's why I chopped them up then.
What about just if you put a forearm on the throat?
Yeah, but like I say,
That's not strangle.
every time you choke
they'll
someone,
be a bruise, won't they?
well, that's why I say that's why I then chopped the body off.
Yeah, because then like you want to leave as little evidence as possible. You know what I mean? So like some of the classic things people done in the past was like acid. Like the old acid bath thing, and all that sort of stuff. But then you've always got this sort of like evidential trail of you getting the stuff that you put together.
You need nowadays, like say with me, it's because I'm going to go to gigs anyway. So like
nowadays I think it is a lot harder
now. Why you're there?
Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible now to be a serial killer, isn't it? Because of the monitoring that.
Like, it is mad when you see people years ago and you're like, how easy it was.
Well,
no wonder every comes a serial killer. It was dead easy. It's like when me robbing cable. Like, it's just that easy. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a shame, really, isn't it?
Everyone's on the phones. No one like in the open air murdering people.
Yeah. But then there's no gay men going to gay bars and fucking luring these estranged family members that they got no family and that. That's the typical one, though, isn't it? The people that are estranged from the family, they've got no connections to anyone. You kill them, no one will know they've gone missing for a while, will they?
That's the
hookers
thing.
killing hookers.
Them,
Lorry drivers killing hookers is the classic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because it's people like because the two things out. You say you've got the sort of the victim who's
no one will report them missing.
Not going to be missed, and then you've got, or if they are going to be reported missing, then by people who aren't really reliable witnesses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you've got like a lorry driver who's got the sort of he's got the natural excuse for why he was in that area when he's from this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but nowadays like, they would be able to track where the lorry goes and they'd be able to see why was he there or something. Whereas back in the day, they'd just be like, well, he just took that route.
It's amazing. Like you literally like nowadays, you can't go anywhere without being picked up by something like either CCTV or your phone trying to connect to some Wi-Fi in someone's house or the mast or whatever. So you can just track people's movements everywhere. So I don't know. I almost admire would-be serial killers for their ambition now. You know what I mean? Because
a serial killer in 2022 should, if you can kill more than 20 people, you should be let off. And it's not like a massacre, but like a thought out. If you get to 20, we'll go, right, you've got a Netflix documentary now because the money that will generate. If we can get somebody,
we keep the money from the
if you can families get to 20
the money and tax, and you can go on, crack
20
on. No more killings though. No more killings.
20 killings within 3 years, and you can get off. As long as we can make the documentary and everything, because that's what the people want. Because that would make a lot of money, wouldn't it? Because we're all out of them now, aren't we? We're done for the serial killer.
I think like serial killer podcast. I think surely going to run to an end soon because
it was a golden era of serial killers when it was just Ed Kemper. Was he one?
I think he was.
He was one that was like
one.
It was like so obvious,
massive, yeah.
He was the one that basically had all the murder stuff in his house, and the police were there, and they just went, and he was like, he was desperate to get caught. And they still couldn't.
Yeah.
And then Dharma had the one where the lad actually ran out, didn't he? Handcuffed and said to the police. And then Dharma came out, oh, it's just a sex game. They you two. Sent him back in and killed him. What do you like?
I've heard about you.
The good old days, as we say, The days of Richard Keys and Andy Gray.
Simon's got a theory.
My theory is I checked out of the world when Richard Keys and Andy Gray got cancelled. That's when it went to shit.
Downhill from there.
When the last word got pulled and fucking all new Simpsons.
Monday Night Football was gone. That was it.
No, Monday Night Football. It was always the last word. Super Sunday followed by Andy Gray and Richard Keys doing the little movements, and then that was me Sunday, hungover, chilling. They got taken away. Because one of them asked the girl to tuck his shirt in. If
Jordan Peterson was English, he'd be talking about that, wouldn't he? That'd be the thing. Like you, that'd be his sort of.
I'm just playing up to my Yadar, aren't I? I'm the dad of the podcast, you see, Kehoe.
He's a proper Yadar.
Yeah, set in me ways, and it's all wrong. I'm still the youngest here.
Still on telly though, aren't they? In
Dubai.
That's
about 100 years behind. That's right. We'll catch up to them again soon.
You can come in here, lads.
Yeah, they're probably doing better now, aren't they, than they ever were financially?
Again, like everyone
probably all tax-free.
Everyone who gets cancelled is the best thing for them.
I have watched them, but I suppose when you watch them now, I look at it and I'd go, oh, it's a bit.
I find Keys a bit desperate now. I like Gray, but I find Keys a bit desperate.
I haven't seen, to be honest, I haven't watched them at all do anything, but I have seen them pop up on YouTube and do.
Keys just talks absolute shit, and he always did.
Yeah, he was a bit of a gobshite. Now you look at him, he
was just a presenter, wasn't he?
Yeah,
basically, that's what he was.
Thought he was one of the boys.
His opinion on football shite,
Yeah. Like he said because he used to do like TVAM or something like that. Richard Keys, I'm sure of it. Like before he did football.
Yeah.
He's just a
He
journalist.
just moved over to.
He just become one of the lads, and that's what killed him in the end. Like what got him the
Hanging
Sky
out
job
the back of
also got him like.
That was the line, wasn't it? Redknapp hanging out the back of it. He just looked like David Brent, didn't he, when he was stood there like this, picking his nails like. Redknapp would hanging out the back of it, wouldn't you? It was just like, it's just David Brent-esque. It was like, good old Keezy. Get him on.
He'd probably fucking do it, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Imagine if we got Richard Keys and Andy Gray. That'd be a fucking...
You'd be fucking made up. That'd be your element then.
Yeah. I'd be like, I can't believe this.
How long ago is it since they got cancelled? Because before cancelled was the word.
I'd say it's got to be about 12.
Yeah.
That's his
That's
they were the
the
first. They started all off. It's all been downhill since then.
Harvey Weinstein wouldn't have got caught if it hadn't have been for Keezy and Gray.
You should be thanking them a little bit.
I was going to say, like,
Yeah. You're bad men, but you can come on if you want, if you're watching. Come on, Keezy, lad.
He just talks crap though, doesn't he? Like
he's like, a little worm, like a bit of a worm.
He says things just to be controversial, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like he's one of them.
Yeah,
like,
he does
always
love it,
like going. Oh, I remember him saying, "I fancy Everton to finish ahead of Liverpool this season," and he was like, "You looked at the two teams."
Clickbait. It's just clickbait, isn't it? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like fucking fair play to him.
So go on. Then what we talking about? How to get away with murder? So what would you?
Is the pig thing real?
What if pigs will eat people?
Yeah.
I think pigs will eat anything, basically. Yeah.
Have you ever come across any? So before police, what was you doing before that?
For the police, I worked for one of the local authority doing their sort of fly tipping prosecutions. And stuff like that. It was it was.
You have to do that in your cell scrap because they don't want to. They never want the plastic.
Fly tipping.
You have to find a way to get rid of the plastic. So it's a lot of.
You won't
fly
believe the
tipping.
number of people who go fly tipping and leave envelopes with the fucking name and address.
Really?
Do they? Yeah.
Oh, fucking idiots.
All the people who've they've given it to some gypsies with a van. You know what I mean, who've then just fly tipped it on their behalf. Yeah. And so they've
Never done any fly tipping.
They've paid someone to do it, and then they've got fined for the thing as well.
I never even knew what it was, and then just lashing your shit out on the road.
Yeah. Or in
It's
just
just
a nice, beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Look, there you go. Have all that shit.
Nice country park with a fucking
Fly tipping.
just on your way in.
Just go and leave a chair somewhere outside.
There's a fridge freezer on your way into Rimrose Valley Country Park.
Yeah, but I used to do all that, and that wasn't a great deal of fun to me.
No.
Right.
It was dead easy though. You know what I mean? It was like just fucking money for old rope. You know what I mean? But
So have you ever you've never been sort of in criminal worlds or outside?
well,
of
I used to,
working for the authority.
I used to work for a firm that did prison law. So all my clients were all murderers and serial sex offenders.
Yeah.
Like, and they were so these just talk to them on a daily basis on the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do they ever admit to you their guilt? Or they can't, can they?
Some of them did, because they've already been convicted.
Right.
So
you're trying to
by prison law, is that just like they're being treated badly and stuff? Or
there's a whole sort of like area of law which is like just for like working in prison. So you've got people need to make progress through the prison system. So like you can, especially for like sex offenders, they need to do certain courses and all that to get out to sort of
getting the little lassie band round the willy when they're watching the kids in the paddling pool. and he's steaming back in the fucking cell.
So you have to like arrange for them to be transferred to certain prisons where they do that course. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Right.
Weird.
So is that all law? Is it then? Is it?
Yeah.
So
it's sort of like you almost become like a PA to them to a degree. You know what I mean? Because they've just got no like social skills at all.
I was going to say, did you ever find some of them that were decent, and then you'd be like, "Hold on, I'm quite liking this fucking sex offending serial."
I imagine sex offenders are more charming than paedophiles.
They were. Well, I'll tell you what. Murderers are by and large okay. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Well, they've got a reason why they killed them.
Most of them were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's like been a pub fight that's gone too far or something like that.
Right.
Like there's not
kicks one in the head one too many times.
Yeah. Like,
one too many times.
They're not people that have. They're not these sort of like evil people that you see on telly. They're just sort of normal.
I know a guy that got done. Used to work in the spa. But I don't know. I'm not saying all, but he used to work in the shop. I used to go in and like buy loads of shit as a kid, and then he'd just start throwing at me and we'd have a right laugh. He had a little to do in a fight in a club, and
I know someone who killed a nonce.
Really?
Someone was noncing his stepdaughter. He found out when he killed him. Was in prison, now collects glasses behind the bar in my local pub.
Right, okay.
Just gets all his elbow for him.
Yeah.
Like just doesn't like collects glasses.
How old was the kid he was nonsense?
I don't know. I think I don't know the full story, but like I know
There's a difference if it's a 3-year-old and a 15-year-old, isn't it?
Suppose it's
Still not ideal.
Probably not to the
either way.
stepdad. Probably like, to you there is.
I'm sure there was one in. I'm sure there was one in America where a guy caught this guy shagging his kid.
Yeah.
Red-handed, beat him to death. But then he tried to ring the police and say, "I've beaten him up. He's bad. Come and get him." And he died anyway. And I think he just got let off.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, like with that,
they went
you would
like
have the defence of provocation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
right, because he's seen it.
Because of that's a fairly extreme sort of set of circumstances, isn't it? So
that would that count as a crime of passion, or would that not be counted as like? Well, what is it? What's the difference between a crime of passion and a crime of provocation?
Well, there's
crime of passion.
Similar thing, though, isn't it? It's like.
There's no such thing as a crime of passion,
isn't there?
in Britain.
No, I didn't.
No. I think there is in France.
I just really wanted to do it.
It's like, killing's my passion.
I just really wanted to fuck this child. Like, all right then, all right.
So the closest
I've got a bit of me set, haven't I? Where it's like I can't strangle my wife during sex because, like, I start strangling her and I just put tomato sauce in the fridge and it won't stop. She's fucking like stops being sexy when you make her butties are cold. Like.
Yeah, no. The closest we would have is provocation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like it's like where you've lost or where you've sort of temporarily lost control or something.
Right.
You know,
because they've deemed that acceptable.
Because it's it's just a defence. It's basically you can't make have the relevant sort of intention to commit the offence.
Right. Yeah.
While you're not in the right.
You're not in control of your own.
You're not in control of your own actions or your own mind.
Right. Okay.
How hard is something like that to prove then?
Pretty hard, to be fair.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I mean, everyone would try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you can't just sort of say, well, he was bugging me, so I stabbed him, and blah. You know, there's got to be. It's got to be sort of proportionate to the annoyance.
Yeah, because I imagine I know loads of lads who could have tried that if it was easy.
Yeah.
My cousin's ex-fella, he went away for a while for put an axe in someone's back because he punched it. Well, the fella had punched his daughter the night before on a night out somewhere.
That's still not enough.
He did who it was. So it was fucking. I don't know why he could have twatted them anyways. I don't know why he took the axe.
An axe in the back.
But he took the axe and just fucking I don't think he had any intention to use it. I think he was just trying to scare him and then was going to punch him.
Yeah.
And then the fella ran away, so he just fucking threw the axe and the axe fucking wedged
He
his
threw
back.
it.
But like from about
fucking middle,
like an Apache.
but from about 3 yards, not like 5 or 10 yards.
Oh, I was going to say, I had visions of him being about.
No, from like me to you.
Yeah.
Like me to you, he's just gone fuck off, and it's just like sort of stuck in his back. Probably couldn't have done it again, like sort of thing.
But then he probably massively regrets that.
I had the video on my phone
like
for a while. He went missing for a few months. Went on a run for a few months.
But then he probably realised it's not worth it.
I mean, it's annoying. It wasn't worth
like.
Just being on the
just
run.
should have just gone and cracked him and just
sucker
punched him.
That's what his plan was. And then when the fella ran away, because I think the fella, I've got the videos. I'll show you after. It's still on my phone. I don't know if it's on this phone. Pushed the table in between them so he could get away. And we'll think when the fella pushed the table, he just fucking threw.
Hang on, you've got a video of it.
Yeah, he was in a pub.
So you've got a video of this axe being thrown in the back of someone's.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Get it up for the viewers.
Well, I can't be honest, so then people don't know who they're about. So they're like,
fucking
no names, obviously, isn't it? So.
Oh right, yes.
Can't be having faces.
Let's see that.
Yeah, well,
that's a horrible video to have on your phone.
I'll see if I can find it after this, but it's not on this phone. It's on my old phone, and
here we go. Yeah, it's on my
I'll get it out and I'll send you it tonight.
Yeah.
Well, what was I going to say then?
Don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know.
We were talking like what constitutes provocation sort of when did it start, when did it end sort of thing.
So it's a really hard defence to be like very few people get to rely on it because it's difficult to prove.
It's like
it'd have to be something like what he said, sort of thing where you walk in
that
and
sort of thing would do,
nonsense your kid or something like that.
But like most things wouldn't qualify for it.
No.
Like the defence you're most likely to rely on is self-defence. You know what I mean? Like so where you fear, because you can rely on self-defence if you're defending someone else as well.
So you could say either fear that's going to kill my kid.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you can only rely on a defence if what you've done is sort of proportionate.
It's
got to be reasonable and all that sort of stuff. But yeah.
So
my advice would be just like don't kill anyone. So you don't have to,
but sometimes there's no.
But if you go on no evidence,
sometimes they've got to go.
Yeah,
it's you or them. So what would you? So going back to the murder thing, what would you say is the best way to murder.
What's the best murder you've seen?
The best murder.
Well, like
I've
the
seen.
one that you go like it to get away with. We've established getting away with murder in today's day and age is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be difficult to get away with multiple murders, I would say, because you'll.
So you want to be going. Well, obviously, when it's murder, usually the person is known to the person, isn't it? Because why would you just go and murder someone at random?
Most violent crimes are.
There's someone known to them. Yeah. So like you're best off if you're wanting to just kill for killing's sake. Then that ups your chances, doesn't it?
Yeah.
An assassin. There must be assassins still working today.
I would have thought so. Yeah. Like,
that Salisbury one.
I was going to say, the Russian.
No one ever got done for that, did they?
No. So the best thing would to be a foreign agent. Yeah. Would be the best thing to be, and then disappear back. So
what you want to do is leave this country. Give yourself to Russia and be like, listen, I'll kill for it. I just want to kill.
Why do you want to kill this person who works in the co-op? Why? What do they have for us? They spat at me pointing on the way at night, and I can't live with it.
No, you've got to have no one to kill. You've got to be like, listen, I just want to kill someone.
Yeah.
Give me someone to kill so I can get away with it.
Just give me a name and a photograph.
Train me, and just like
that'd be the best. I'll join the army.
Yeah,
kill people.
Yeah. True.
That's the thing. It's like it's legal, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Just go and kill people. Tom Taylor was telling to me. Tom Taylor, comedian, I have to get him on, but he was saying to me that. Actually, it was Brimson that he could have come on and told the story about. Basically, he did a gig for like the SAS or something. Like these people are high up, and this person comes on. I'm butchering this story now. Brimson's probably better to tell you, but fuck him because he's not here. That he goes up there and he starts giving off this spiel about who the SAS are, and basically they're like people that just love to kill.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they love to kill. So he says like 80% of the people in the army.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, couldn't kill. And now I think that 80% is encompassing all the other fuckers who sit in the office and all that.
Right.
Not the bad lads who are going out there, 19, scrapping in pubs and boozers, and now they're going over there to shoot people up. But like a lot of them don't. And then they get to like as they go higher and higher, the SAS are the people that like not only can they kill or would they kill, they want to kill.
Yeah.
So they're the SAS. It's not like they're like these specials. They are special in that, but they actually like it.
I'm sure there's something in that I've read about how
probably butchered that. Sorry, Eddie, but
I think that's right, because in the vast majority of like wars and battles, is that something like 80% of combatants sort of deliberately either don't fire the gun at all in a battle, or they deliberately fire it over the heads of who they're shooting at, like, because they don't want to actually kill each other. But then, so it's something. Is it like that 80-20 rule that 80% of outcomes are caused by 20% of participants or something? It's an economic rule, but it works out like that. So basically, most of the deaths caused in war directly by the other side are caused by something like 10 to 20% of the other side who were actually psychopaths. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Who've got into it because they want to actually kill people, and they've realised it's a way of doing it. Which not only will you get away with it, but you'll be a hero as well, So
yeah, I don't know. I think when it comes to it, I think if I was on the front line and I was getting fired at, you would shoot to kill.
I think you're just all shooting above it. I don't know.
Do you reckon? Nah, I think I'd be going.
I'd be rubbish in the army.
Yeah, so would I. But I'm just saying that if you're on the front line, you're firing. Surely you're thinking, I've got to do this. I think maybe you've got to do it, or like they don't want to, but they do it maybe.
Them and us mentality sort of thing.
I suppose that's what they train you for, don't they? Train you to sort of see them as just targets and that.
I think they do sort of deprogram you a bit now.
Yeah, dehumanise the enemy, just go like they're just targets, think of them as targets and pop them off.
I think you'd have to, and then I think some of the things you probably see while you're over there dehumanise you.
But then you see them people that were abusing them. Were they American, the ones that were torturing the prisoners or something that
I think
time?
They were British
Abu Ghraib, was it?
Yeah. They were British soldiers.
Yeah, they were like, was it pissing on them and all? And
didn't that turn out to be false? Or was
there was a front page.
That's what Piers Morgan got sacked for.
Yeah.
Right.
But there is a sort of true story version of it as well. I think the photographs were
all
false.
fake. Yeah.
But I suppose you just tip out if you're in that wars, and you might just tip over the edge, mightn't you, and just become
probably not good. It's probably not good for your mental health, is it?
Yeah, probably fucks you mentally. Like I know.
Well, I saw a guy, Chris Sullivan.
Yeah,
I'm sure his mate was in the army, and then literally they're like, I don't know, is it called compression or whatever? They literally just sent them off from being 6 months in a war zone banged them all on a fucking beach in Cyprus for
Greece or
2 weeks,
Cyprus,
give them 10 crates each, and went, right, off you go, fellas.
And they send
he said all they were doing
over to gig for him, don't they?
Well, it wasn't Chris
Just to
doing
get
it.
you back into society. Have a listen to Dave Hungley tell you this.
But they just said all they did on the beach was just fucking drink and fight.
Yeah,
All
that's
they
what
did. They just didn't know what to do.
But that's what it is. It's get out your system. It's go and knock each other out before you go and knock a
Before you
civilian out.
go home, yeah.
Before you go and knock a civilian out in a nightclub. That's basically what it is. Go and knock and it fucks them. I know like lads who like come home like
PTSD.
Like I know lads who got into fights because there's a lad I know. I won't mention because he's a knobhead. No, he's a knobhead.
They're acting all sympathetic to these poor lads. He's just cunt by man.
Well, he is, but anyway, he talked about
uses an excuse, does he?
He talked about when he first come back, and he was just full of anger that no one cared.
Right, yeah.
About like what was going on over there.
Yeah.
Like, the soldiers like dying and like people being blown up. It's like, well, yeah, it's war, that mate.
Yeah.
Like that's happening over there. We live over here. Like,
well, I'm sure Monty. Yeah.
Thanks for going over there, but like at the end of the day, that's what you signed up for, sort of thing. And he kept fuming. So like, I don't know whether he had in his head he thought everyone should be thanking him.
Yeah.
When he come back in the pub, and also,
that he thought it was all
yeah
meaningless what he'd been doing. Yeah.
Or the fact that he'd come back and he'd realised the meaningless of it all.
Yeah.
And then that annoyed him. Like the fact that everyone just didn't care.
I seen a guy
and then like he'd just start kicking off on people, and they'd be
in a car park, and some guy was giving him shit about the way he'd parked his car or something, and then he give it the whole war spiel. Saying, I've been in a fucking war for you, I fucking die, I've shot, about, like, he's giving him shit about the way he's parked his car. Then he feels entitled to be like, I've given me life for everything to fight for this country.
So I'll fucking park where I want.
And he was just a fucking cunt. And then he walks off looking at me thinking I'm like going to be going, well done, mate. You know, you are.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. You park
prick.
over those 2 disabled spaces.
But like, there's another. I'm sure Monty Burns. He was out there, and I'm sure he told a story. I don't know if it's true or not.
I've heard he's got PTSD. You think he's said himself he had PTSD?
But I'm sure he told a story about basically he was driving on this fucking thing, and he was sat up the top, like on parole or something. And like, he switched with his mate, and within like a minute, his mate's head just got fucking blown off.
Yeah, well, shit like that happens.
And it was just like, oh, fuck, like 1 minute ago I was sat there.
Like I know someone whose best mate died while he was over there, so they were joined together and all that. He died while he was over there, and then
that must be fucking
that
awful.
Just fucked them, sort of thing. Like there's loads of PTSDs like that. Like I know loads. Like I know one of my very good mates. He's come home. He doesn't like the fact that you're in one place anymore. So like he just has to take himself off on these like long walks. Just to sort it out, because just like the fact that you're just based, whereas you used to be moving around from like camp to camp and stuff like that, like the fact that you're just based, like that's something he can't get over, sort of thing. So he has to just take himself off, goes like fucking hiking for a couple of days and wild camping, and then comes back again, sort of thing. Just to sort of like get it out of his system, sort of thing. Cause,
so we're going about these back to killing. We still need to find out how we're going to murder someone.
I told you how I'd do it. You haven't got a plan yet.
It's all about disposing of the evidence, isn't it? That's the real issue.
Do you think?
So like you say, if you've not got a weapon to dispose of, if there's less evidence to get rid of, just got to get rid of a body then.
Yeah, I suppose if they go, right, this person we know is gone missing, we can't find them, and we're presuming they're dead.
Yeah.
And then they have to go work
Accident
it all out.
on a boat, like someone going overboard or something like that. That'd be.
So take them on a cruise.
Take them on a cruise.
Yeah, but then you got to justify why.
Get a balcony. Get them sloshed.
You just got to justify. You got to be able to justify why you're there.
No! And then they see them fall, and they get sucked under, and
classic movie.
And then they have to give it the fake tears on ITV. And then that's the tough part in it. That's how Philpott got done, didn't he? They just watched him and went, "Nah, mate."
He doesn't care.
Yeah, they were like, "Nah, that ain't legit." That was like minutes, wasn't it? They knew he was guilty. They just everyone just went, well, this is clearly not real. Like, that took them minutes to work that out that he was a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Like you got to give it the thing, innit? Give it the Hollywood.
Have you ever worked with someone where you like they put you just there's something not right about them or anything like that?
Yeah, the clients, like not in the office, you mean, but like, not colleagues, but
no, like clients, like where it's gone. You like met them and gone.
Yeah, well,
he leaves the tea bag in his tea. And he's just chugging wrong.
Puts milk in first.
There's a tweet.
I do that. Yeah.
There's a tweet. I don't know how real it is. You know where like people fucking try and grandstand or virtue signal and get likes now on. There's some lad put on Twitter. My dad works for the CPS. Just been offered 2 of them lads who killed Eva White, and he said no. He said no. He's not sort of like taking care of them. Never been prouder and all that. And then he had loads of people saying, "You're just talking shite."
Well, yeah.
You just want likes and all stuff like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like, have you ever got that way? You just gone someone going, "Oh, I can't like."
Are we beer? Do you want another beer?
I'm all right. Thanks.
All right.
You can't.
Right.
You can't turn down a case based on sort of like moral issues. Otherwise, some people would never get represented. You know what I mean? Like, if someone's accused of sort of child sex offences, then
defence lawyers in it.
No one would take the case. So if you're sort of professionally able to deal with it, it's in your area of expertise.
Yeah,
you've got to take it. It's called the cab rank rule. So it's like literally your black cab drivers, and you're just picking up whatever the next job is.
Yeah, but we don't.
What you're working in?
That would be if you were at the independent bar.
If you're the CPS,
but the CPS would be prosecuting. So
well,
surely you can do a shite job.
What's it called? Legal aid, is it, or
legal aid work? Yeah.
Yeah. Or who would he be? Who would he work?
So he'd be working for.
If he to be offered that, who would he be?
He'd be working for a private solicitors firm.
Just an independent solicitors firm.
Yeah. I suppose potentially as a solicitor you might be able to get away with turning it down, but as a barrister you couldn't. Like you absolutely have to represent whoever you're instructed to represent.
See, I think my cousin represented Frenchie.
Did he?
I think he got him off or something. Yeah.
Right.
Fair play. Good lad.
Yeah. I got when you were saying about who
Don't
made
say
me feel
anymore.
weird.
Just in case I fuck anything up.
One of my clients, I went to see when I worked for this prison law firm. Like one of my clients, it was a new client, so I had to go and do the initial contact visit with him.
Yeah.
So I had to go to prison. So I had to go to Durham prison to go and see this guy. And we had like a lot of like set questions to ask him, like a questionnaire.
Yeah.
So we could work out what it, because these people like they write to you saying, I want you to represent me in in whatever, and it's like they're not often clear what they mean because they're all mental. You know what I mean? So it's like should see the fucking handwriting.
Is it? Yeah.
The number of murderers who have that big sort of bubbly girls at school handwriting, fucking with like love hearts over the eyes. Like seriously. Then you're looking at this bloke's killed 3 men. What's up?
Bracket in parentheses. What am I like? I still maintain my innocence, but
I'll tell you another story. About
they got little illustrations on as well.
Oh, seriously, fucking nuts. And, but I went to see this one guy, and he was the only time I've ever felt sort of unnerved by any of them. So, because he was, I had to sort of find out like what they'd done, how long they're in for, because if it's someone's going to be in for a stretch. Now, this guy was a category AA prisoner.
That doesn't sound good.
So there's not many of them in the country. There's like 10 or something.
Where are they housed? The Cat A, Cat AA.
So they're all in Cat B. There's no such thing as a Category A prison. They're Category B prisons, but they have a Category A wing
section. Yeah.
And then they have another subsection for the real ones,
Right.
and they're the ones. And it's all about like how likely you are to be able to escape, is what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's not necessarily about how dangerous a criminal you are,
or how violent you are as a person.
It's about your likelihood to escape, as well
how
as
good you are at getting out.
What if they're charming and they can manipulate people, or what?
Well, yeah. It's and it's like, and also what harm you would be on the outside as well.
Right.
So basically, any Category A prisoner, you're looking at people who are in gangs who might have the people on the outside who would be able to help them escape.
Threaten the staff there maybe and go let him out, or
someone who can just like plow into a van.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what this guy did. What he did, and this is how he came to our radar. Is he arranged to escape from to get, he was in Durham or Franklin, one of the ones up in the northeast, and there was only one road through this housing estate to get to it, basically. So there was a rumor that had gone round that they were planning this thing, and it got rumbled. So he was planning to have someone stab him, right, in prison, and then in the ambulance as it went through this housing estate, his mates would stop the ambulance. And I think the guy who was going to stab him or whatever, someone got wind of what it was and grassed him up. And then they did a sweep of the area, and they found like cars with shotguns in the back of them on the estate. So it was a genuine.
It was all parked up, ready to go.
Yeah. So that's why he was in that thing. So I went to see him, and I found out what his crime was. And basically, he'd been a PT instructor. He was all right with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was a fucking massive bloke, right?
Yeah.
And he said he was a PT instructor in the Marines. Yeah. And he said, I'd always been gay, but I'd always denied it, blah, blah. So one time I was doing these two this sort of session with these two blokes. It was like a sort of punishment type session for them, and
they got punished. They got fucking punished.
Basically, he took them in terms and raped both of them, and then murdered them both with his bare hands. And these are two
strangulation.
Marines. Yeah.
And did he say he just snapped
at the same time? So he must have tied one up.
Yeah.
And then so he could fuck it.
So I held them down. So yeah.
No, he held two fellas down.
Yeah.
Without tying one up first, and managed to shag both of them and kill them.
Yeah.
Who's this fucking legend?
But he was huge.
The Big Show.
Fucking John Cena.
But I was just sat there in a room with him on my own. I was like, fucking like.
Do you want to go for a punishment session, Chris?
Yeah, I was like, but because I was helping him, he was dead nice to me. But
so
it just made me think like.
Did he say anything about what he'd done to you?
Did
he say anything about what he'd done to you? Did he say like, oh yeah, just snapped or like?
Well, he just basically it was just it was just years and years of like repressed thing, living in an environment where it was really like homophobic and all that sort of stuff. And I think one of them might said something.
Made the homophobe slur and he just went,
I'll
just fucking bum you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I have to stop being homophobic then when I'm in the gym, just in case anyone. That's mental.
He was.
How big was this fucker?
He was about 6'7", and he was massive. He was like, like the bloke in.
He must have knocked one out.
I think he must have. I can't remember the exact detail he did it, but I think he sort of at one point.
Seen out of Beauty and the Beast when he's fighting the wolves.
But
he's going into Anytime Fitness at half 11. Whoa, doing a Grandpa Simpson, Abe Simpson, when he goes to brothel. Just puts his hat down, sees Bart there, and goes, spins right back out. I think I missed my session today. Looks like it's getting a bit heavy on the mat. Jesus, there
were a lot of them that were like that were sort of repressed homosexuals. You know what I mean?
That are just like
there was one guy, a Welsh guy, who literally said on the phone, "I was the only gay in the village," but he had never seen.
He's in Little Britain as well.
He'd been in fucking prison for 25 years. You know what I mean? So and he'd it was just a little old guy, and he'd sort of in a put-up one night, he just snapped that enough and. Just started fighting everyone and fucking killed two of them.
You hear that about this? You must have heard of the G's around Liverpool. Well, his brother Danny. I was watching Sean Atwood's podcast. Right. You see Sean Atwood, and he was talking about, and then this ex-copper was on there, and it took like 9 or 10 coppers to get up, all geared up to go in and jump on him.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is when you're going against 1-on-1, when a 1-on-9 or something, I think they just make an example out of one, and it just fucks with the rest of them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because you think about if someone had an axe and everyone else had an axe, like one of us is gonna get chopped there, and you go, I don't want to be the one who gets chopped. Exactly. Whereas he goes, I'm gonna get chopped, so fucking one of you are getting chopped.
Yeah.
So I think when you go like 1-on-2, you're thinking like, all right, it's not as unbelievable.
It's why North Korea can't have nukes. Because they're like, well, eventually you're going to nuke us, so let's nuke
That's
why everyone's shitting themselves going, North Korea can't have nukes.
Yeah, I think this
because they know at some point it's going down.
So you think about it and you go like, oh, that's like, of course 10 people could take one, but it only needs none of them want to be the fall guy.
It's just how many that one can get through before.
Before but then if all 10 of them don't want any of it, then therefore it's kind of like he's just going to chop through all of us until one of us gets chopped.
Well, what happens is someone gets chopped and then it's like, all right, we've got to do it, otherwise we're next.
Yeah, but someone's going to get chopped. Someone's going to get chopped.
Someone's getting chopped.
Yeah, and it's just
unless you've got one psychopath, he just goes, fuck it, lads, come on.
Yeah, you need one of them to be a nutter, and you've got one nutter and 9 people that are just doing a job.
Yeah.
And you go, well...
And that is it. It's just people doing a job.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not losing my life
I'm
for this
not paid enough for this.
It's funny when you hear the stories that is it Brunson, when he used to get buttered up before he'd fight the cops.
Oh, so he'd slip.
So they couldn't get hold of him. It's like, at that point, it's just a fucking game for him, innit? If you're fucking buttering yourself up just to have a scrap, it's like, you just fucking love it, That's all you're just doing it for the love of the game. That's all you're in it for.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic when you think about going like 5-on-1 would be easy, but not when the guy on the one guy goes, well, I'm fucked anyway, so I might as well try and put one of them.
Either way, I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's the thing of, we will all beat him eventually, but
who wants the one to get beat first?
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you ever, is there anything mad you've experienced then when in the prison sort of law sort of thing? Any like weird requests or like anything you've been called in, you're like, this is just how has this happened? Sort of thing.
But before we go on, did you ever find out what this guy's deadlift was, just out of interest? if the judge just said that in the court, went, what's your deadlift? He went,
what's your squat, mate?
Yeah. If you do over 300, we'll take 5 years off of you. Do 300 kilo now, we'll take 5 years off the sentence.
Yeah, he was. He'll still be in prison. That bloke.
Really?
Like, there's no way he'd be getting.
That's terrifying.
Why? Just because
6'7"
because he tried to
out there.
escape, or just because he's
both things. Yeah. Just he'd be too dangerous and just
But if something like that happens, so you're saying he'd be too dangerous, but if that's only ever happened once,
once is enough, mate.
like, is it a case of once is enough, or is it like, will he not be constantly a sight test to go?
Two fellas.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of repressed homosexuality. We live in a different culture now where like
possibly
he could probably come out and be open and gay and everything be fine.
Yeah, but if you're dealing with him and then if he snaps again, it's
that's what I'm saying. You know, like what is there something in plan that's
it's meant to rehab them, innit? But it's meant to rehab them, isn't it? But
yeah. So you would, if you get sent to prison for life, then there's very few whole life tariffs, which is like you'll not get out. Even with them, you might get out at some point in the future. So you've got like a minimum term. And the starting point's, I think, 15 years or 12 years. It used to be 12, I think it's 15 now. And that'll move up or down depending on like the mitigating, aggravating factors involved. But after that point, you still don't automatically get released. You have to then convince a parole board that you're fit to be released. And then you'll be released on sort of license for the rest of your life, where you won't be able to, like, depending on what your things are, but you won't be able to drink.
But they still can, though, can't they?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to, if they do it, they're fucked again, but they can still do it.
Sort of thing,
well, quite a lot, to be fair. People get recalled to prison quite often, And so they'll get recalled to prison for the rest of the sentence, which if it's life is a long time, So you've basically just got like, you get given a chance, and then you blow it, So
do you not reckon he'll ever get a chance just for being so?
I can't imagine so. Based on what...
Because of the ambulance plan?
Yeah, that
they go, you clearly... You've snided us once, fools once, shame on us.
Part of me, this is probably the scumbag in me. It's like, God, everyone's gonna have a little go at getting out. You know what I mean? Like, fucking hell, you can't be fucking like.
Well, we sort of
judge you know what I mean? If a cop is trying to arrest me, and I haven't given me name or nothing yet, and there's a little chance where I can just leg it. Like the doors are jarred or something like that. I'm fucking going for it. You know what I mean?
We all love a plucky underdog, don't we? Giving it a go.
Yeah.
Sort of
go on, that rape and murderer. Go on, get out here. Go on.
I'm still on the side for the repressed homosexuality. I think that just gives him a bit with me. I'm like, oh, go on then, lad. You can have one try.
Yeah, there is obviously a second chance, but then he's clearly.
I think what they should do for someone like him. It should be like Gladiator, where they just like line up every guard they've got in the prison in between him and the door and be like, right,
you get through.
If you can get through, you're free. If you can't, like
old school,
just fucking like just what's it?
If you can get through like this firing squad,
no guns, but loads of batons and all that.
You go like, right, there's going to be 15 people stood at the end of there, and you got to get to that door. 3, 2, 1, go. There'll be some idiot who go, go ahead, I'll back myself.
Most of them inside, a lot of them inside, do it because they've. Why not? Because they're bored. You know what I mean?
Do you reckon that's the worst thing about prison? The boredom.
I reckon so.
Yeah,
I've never been to prison as a prisoner.
Yeah, but you spoke to a lot of prisoners.
I spoke to a lot of them. Yeah, and they're
I've sat at an open mic night. Is there a firing squad in here?
Oh yeah. Oh, another story about Tinder. Brilliant.
No, but I think boredom is when they go nuts, isn't it? It's just there's fuck all else to do.
So they've got nothing to do. Like you become as their lawyer, like they're like pen pals.
Just someone to talk to.
Because they've got nothing to do but to think about their case. They can get off. So none of them. It's like that thing from Shawshank Redemption, like where like none of them are guilty. Loads of them don't accept that they're guilty. You know what I mean? Even though they're fucking out. And
again, I'm scared because that again, that's me.
And I think at the point,
I'll find a reason why it wasn't my fault.
Well, everyone justifies their own behaviour, don't they?
I think
to the point where they go, I'm not.
I think especially if you've been in prison for quite a while and you've done nothing but think about it, I think at that point you probably do genuinely convince yourself that you've not done it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like your memory starts to be superimposed by your fantasy.
Yeah. It's like when you think about footy goals you scored at 15.
Yeah.
And they're getting further and further back. 30 yards that free kick was. The reality is, for me, it's on the wall. You lobbed the keeper that was only a third of the size of the goal. Yeah. You start remembering it back then. It was like Beckham Greece. Like it wasn't, mate. It was just you kicked the ball high enough that the keeper couldn't reach.
I know. I used to score quite a few free kicks, and when I think back, it's like, because keepers were shit, weren't they? You know,
well, they were only about that big, and the goals were 6 foot.
Yeah,
like the kid's 3 foot.
As long as you could kick it off the floor.
And he's the shittest player, so he's got no coordination.
I scored in every cup final I've ever played in.
Have you?
And it's because when it comes to a cup final, I just go. I just look for
no
goal.
offsides.
Like, I'd just be there like, I'm not passing. I'm shooting every chance I get. And then like,
yeah, but then if the offside rule
34 going, I've scored in every cup final. It's like, yeah, you probably cost half of them. Because you wouldn't fucking pass 5.
5 cup finals.
Yeah, 5 cup finals, 5 goals.
How many cups did you win?
How many cups did you win?
None. All 5 actually.
Oh, did you? Was there offsides in these games?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It was all as a marauding right back.
You were a right back.
Yeah, I was right back on it. Centre back and right back when I scored. These were back in like. So that was when I was good. When I was at my best was when I was a marauding right back.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, you don't half big yourself up, you know.
I was shit hot.
Can you play?
Yeah, I used to. I've not played for a while.
Wing it, right wing, right mid.
Well,
right mid.
Left-footed, so he's playing
yeah.
left hand side. Yeah.
Left mid or left forward.
Pair of lefties, yeah.
I'm left forward. Stay out wide, Thierry.
Yeah, fuck off. Just fuck all. Every left footer I've ever met in my life has got a good shot and not an
I always had a good shot on me.
Yeah.
And left footers can nice sort of technique and all that.
Strike a ball. I don't know why, but left footers could always strike a ball.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've never met a left footer who doesn't have a
sweet left peg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they all look more skillful than what they were because no one fucking played with lefties. So like you're always putting a defender on his wrong foot, sort of things. Like,
yeah, I used to score quite.
We're allowed to take pens though.
My goals were sort of
every team I ever played in, they wouldn't let a left footer take a pen.
Really?
Yeah. I was shy. I missed a big
it's an old school thing where left footers can't take pens. Like an old school thinking sort of thing.
Really? So, I've never heard that.
Yeah. So like an old school sort
of.
What
foot's messy?
Left foot.
Left foot.
Oh. Yeah, but I said it was an old school thing, didn't I?
Shit pen takers, isn't it?
He misses plenty of pens.
Stuart Pearce and Chris Waddle were both left-footed, weren't they? And look what they did in 1990.
Gareth Southgate.
He was right.
He was right-footed.
There you go.
Didn't have the bottle
Andrei Shevchenko.
Didn't have the temperament for it.
I think he was left-footed, was he?
No, right-footed.
Right? Is he right-footed?
Yeah.
Right.
So
remember that. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm not. Scored a few penalties in my time, but I've missed a couple of vital ones.
I'm
fucking scuffed one.
I never took
the keeper picked the ball up. It was that bad. In a semi-final, mate. You was thinking, oh fucking hell, and I was the wool of the team. For that
I think I took 3, scored 3, but I wouldn't normally take them. So I only took them if no one else would, sort of things. It'd be one of them where like, if no one's taking it, I'll take it. Yeah. But I didn't like to.
See, my penalties would only go well if they believed my eyes. Do you know what I mean? So if they believed the eyes, then it would sneak in there because it would be shit, but it would never be a good
I went the same place every time, just like
that way,
middle left,
just
bend my foot round it, bend my foot round it, middle like.
Where was your spec? Where are you putting it?
I would go either. I used to try sort of curling onto the keeper's right with the inside of my foot, but that's obviously
you're opening your body up, aren't you? So far, unless you swing it.
If you don't put enough power on it, it's an easy save for the keeper.
Also, then I just started hitting it as hard as I could to the sort of like to my right, to the keeper's left.
Yeah, that's what I do. Just bend your foot right round it.
You're wrapping your foot round it to the right, but then you're placing it on the left.
So I'm just exactly. So I started doing that, and it was better.
If they believe the eyes, the left-footed side foot into the side, that your left foot into that one. Sound coming across it and putting it that way, you're going to drag it wide.
I wouldn't look up.
Wouldn't you? I'd give the eyes. I'd go. I'm looking over there and thinking the keeper's going to buy that. I'm looking over there.
My head's at the floor. I'm looking at nothing but the ball. I'm just fucking wrapping my foot around it. Wrap my foot round it hard as I can, trying to go that corner.
Well, like with amateur keepers, if you get it on target, you're probably going to score. Yeah, let's be honest. You know, most of them aren't very good.
Best pen I ever took was in Benidorm.
Don't know, mine picked it up. He fucking tied his laces and then scooped the ball up.
Best pen I ever took was in Benidorm, and it was like 4 years ago.
Benidorm, fucking hell, of course it was.
There was a pub in Benidorm.
Pen you've ever
with a goal in it. They had a goal in it and a little fucking sponge ball. And it's just like
no pressure. That was
just the theme for the pub. So we're all fucking 20 of us. When my mate's got in goal, my best mate got in goal. He's just fucking, and cause he's a bit of a fucking knobhead like me, he's diving for everything. I just fucking like making the most out of it. And cause I've seen that, I thought, I've got him here. Fucking Benidorm, 11 o'clock. All the lads are standing around. Little Petici.
Again, I don't believe.
Because I knew he was diving everywhere. So little Petici. So after him, that was me, mate.
But I reckon you.
Telling every bird that I met in Benidorm that night, hey, tell him about me shit. Tell him about me shit.
Yeah, but. you're smashed in Benidorm. You're remembering this wrong.
Oh, probably, yeah.
You remember
I
this little thing in the middle. Your mate fucking dived and it was just shite. And then
probably, but in my head it was a lovely little. And I've always wanted to take another pen. It's just ever since that day I'm like, I'm gonna do that again.
I always think that I'd like, you know, with certain things, I think I'd love if I could time travel. I'd be such a narcissist.
Go back to that.
I would go back. I'd go back to watch that free kick. Like, you know, that's what I would do.
I go back.
All that seeing the Romans or anything like that. I would watch me take a free kick.
I'd be going back before the game to tell myself, celebrate more. Celebrate more because this is your peak, lad. This is your fucking peak.
Get a video of a camera. That is that. I've never thought about that. If you could go back to one moment, it'd probably be like, what a goal you've scored in a five-a-side match. In a fucking friendly where you just go, that went right in the top bin, that was.
There's always one goal.
I jigged that fella, went past the other one and then fucking bang.
I was literally this morning thinking about a goal that I scored.
During a fucking case, he's sitting there.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is why you got to watch
the defender got anything to say? Sorry, what?
Bottom right, you lord.
What a goal! It was great though. It was like,
I've got a goal that I remember now. That was when I stopped being my road right back, and he put me up front.
Right.
And that's just my football career changed that day for the worse. I'd ran 60 yards with the ball. I'd
20
probably. But I remember it from the edge of my box up to the edge of their box, and it was just after Drogba and Marseille had done his little chop, and I'd done the same thing. So like I'd gone like that way, and then no, it wasn't because it was Vegard Hegem days. Because someone shouted, "Fucking hell!" I was like, "Vegard Hegem, that's stocking," and I was fucking semi on, and I took the defender one way, and I'd done the little boomf, left foot that way, right foot inside with the ball, come inside, defenders there after the left one for dead, cut in, smashed as hard as I could my right foot, top right hand corner near post, and that was it. Then I never played in defence again. It was like that. Oh, he's got that in his locker. Got to put him up front. First game up front, scored at Attic. Not one of them was a decent goal. Fucking one bounced off my shin, one was like off my arse, one was off my head. Got at Attic, and that was it. Then I never got put in defence again, and that was my career over because I was shite up front.
I've scored a few. I scored in an FA Cup pre thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? It was
qualifying for the qualifier.
Yeah. Formby, like under 18s or whatever it was, and at the back of Tesco.
Yeah,
the pitch,
yeah.
Came on, and then it wasn't a great. It was all right though. It went top bin, but I think I probably dressed it up a bit much. But it was an all right finish.
Just listen.
It was a good finish. I had a good game that day. One game out of many, but
I retired at 14. Me, I peaked.
Scored a few headers.
I peaked at 12. Yeah, I was playing county level when I was 12, and then at 14 got Osgood Slatter's disease in my knee.
There you go. That stopped him from taking a pen at this year's Euros.
That was it then.
That was like the schoolboy.
Would have been you and Harry Kane.
Injury of choice. I remember that back in the day.
It is Osgood Slatter's
would have been you and Harry Kane up top if it wasn't for the Aussie Slatters, wouldn't it?
Listen, anyone who knows me knows the story. It was me or Victor Anichebe for Everton, and for some reason it didn't pick me. I'm not saying it's politics, but I'm just saying.
I used to like scoring a header because I didn't like heading it, but I've scored a couple of good headers when I just got on it and went, oh, that was good. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I wouldn't like to head the ball because I get a headache.
I used to love
when you
ball.
feel the ball, you go, oh, this is a headache ball. It's like, when you get one, you can ping it and you go, this feels a bit light, and you can spray it and that, but then you get the one, you just go, oh, me fuck kills. When it's cold and you pass it and you go, oh, I'm getting a bruise here. I don't want to head that fucker.
Because when I was a kid, I was just fucking... The footy fields were dominated. I was a proper rat. I was like elbow and fucking love going in for the header and knocking someone out on the way through.
Couldn't head the ball.
I love that when you sort of feel the ball though. I remember I was playing at uni and like I got the old Umbro balls. United used to play with, and they were amazing those. I was playing with that and I sort of felt it and I bounced it. I thought, I reckon I was about 35 yards. I reckon I can fucking hit that. It was that. Well, is that I'm not bigging
just the right
up,
way.
But I was like. Yeah, exactly. It was like slightly heavy as well.
Yeah. So
it can get a bit of like oomph in it. Yeah. So it was that far I didn't even bother setting up a wall. So
you
thought I just ran up and just fucking smashed it.
Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, and it went
2 feet off the floor,
underside of the crossbar and into the.
It was 35 yarder.
That's what I'd go back
from Kehoe.
I can't remember a single goal I scored. I would hit the post and winning, or hit the bar and winning.
Yeah,
because it just like
scored
from a corner. So much better.
Scored from a corner, strong wind but scored from a corner.
I remember
hit the bar in Amsterdam, but from a corner as well. Fancied it, thought the wind's on my side there, pinged it out, and then bing. I was like, oh.
I
I quite like hitting the bar more than scoring, to be honest with you. So
I know
it's
what
like,
you mean.
yeah. It's like, would you rather score in the World Cup but lose the final, or hit the bar and have a shit game and win the World Cup? I know you'd rather win the World Cup, or have a great game, score a hat trick, hit the bar, hit the post, but lose.
Well, lose like 4-3.
Yeah. I'd rather lose but score a hat trick and be like, what, he was fucking
he was
unbelievable.
brilliant, but the rest of them let him
No,
down.
no.
You'd rather win but have a shit game.
Yeah.
Nah, I want all the.
All
I want to be the
that's-
nearly guy. Who
that's
went
I'm
like,
all about winning, me. Like,
nah.
I think I'd rather.
Beckham, Greece. That's what you'd want. I know that they eventually that ended happily,
Yeah,
but you know when that you're just the man.
no, I'd be Roy Keane semi-final, chop someone down so they can't score, get me yellow card,
Take
not
one for the
not
team.
playing the final and just be there with me suit. Fucking
All
everyone
about-
knows I'm the real hero of the team.
All about the.
So it's
glory,
all about
mate,
you
like.
in the end, anyway. Though.
Yeah, but like,
You'd rather take the hat trick and the man of the match and lose
I reckon I probably would. Yeah,
than just be an average player getting the fucking World Cup medal.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
yeah.
I remember that
that's probably,
final.
That's probably why I never played in a higher than point.
Yeah.
With that attitude.
All about the individual gains of it all, innit? Fuck everyone else.
the most individualist I've been.
Celebrating with the other cunts. You know, fuck off.
Was the first cup final I ever played in. I was fucking awesome. Like, awesome.
Of course you
Smashed
were.
the bar.
I wouldn't have expected anything
Smashed the
less.
bar, scored the opening goal, and my fucking cousin, who's fucking 5'2" now, was probably 4 foot nothing at the time. Fucking, it was 1-1. I'd fucking ran the whole show. Scores a towie from 40 yards out, and it just goes over the. Fucking, he couldn't even hit it that far in his life if he tried ever again. Just towies it from 40 yards out. It goes over the keeper, it goes in, and that's the winning goal. The next thing he's got man of the match, and everyone's lifting him up, and I'm here going, "Are you fucking messing?"
A towie.
I fucking ran the show here, and this little cunt's getting all my glory. Fucking fuming. It wasn't. I remember the goal as well.
Yeah, but
He
if you get a towie right, mate, fucking unstoppable.
He's literally
Just like an arrow, isn't it? A towie.
It was him, Victor Anichebe, standing next to him, and I'm standing left wing, and I just watch him do it, and I watch it go in and just go, "What the fuck's he done? What the fuck?" Because you can tell it's like Vladimir Smicer in Istanbul when he gets the ball, and you can tell everyone's going, "Don't you fucking dare shoot! Don't you dare shoot!" He just fucking hits it. Just fucking goes.
That was a
in.
good moment, man, when he banged that one in.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I did. I was thinking, don't shoot.
Yeah, the whole stadium.
It wasn't even a great shot either, was it?
No,
You know, it was
just
bad
fucking-
goalkeeping.
He got a hand to it, didn't he? Did he? Went under it.
Pushed it into the post.
That was great though, because Smeets is scoring as well. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, it's just better than if it was a big. It's just like, you fucking little gimp, get in. Even when he scores, he rescues it. You can still give him shit. You're like, you fucking knobhead.
What do you do? Shooting your cunt?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. You can celebrate when they go, why the fuck did you shoot from there and give him a kiss at the same time? Never do that again.
Yeah. Whereas me and my cousin, I just fucking walked off. With
No,
it
but
all
so that
time.
was what you'd do. You'd go back and relive that free kick from 35 yards.
Yeah.
So far out, they didn't even have a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking would you tell yourself to celebrate like Zlatan? Listen, this time when you fucking score, just fucking stand there going,
It's not
disrespect
that,
me
but you
again.
just want to see
Disrespect
it. don't you?
me again.
Like that was the moment. Like, yeah, like.
Yeah,
That was the moment.
It was like at the time I didn't realise it was like this is literally you're never going to beat this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not just in football, in life actually.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
the peak of your entire life.
You're gonna, this moment you're gonna still think about when you're fucking 40 in your shed. Oh,
Can you imagine how this is what I get annoyed about footballers is that I really get upset when I see Gerrard West Ham. It's that like these moments that you go, oh, like you'll never get that ever. I'll never. There's nothing I can do to ever get that feeling.
Yeah.
Of him pinging it in from 40 yards against West Ham, last seconds. That feeling.
Well, wait till you get
Like
away.
you score a goal.
Wait till you get away with murder, and then like.
Well, you
when it's
Like,
like,
it's satisfying that.
Yeah.
On your deathbed, you're thinking of all the murders.
yeah,
Yeah, but like, you know, we're
just
thinking.
pulling someone in.
We're thinking now
What's Grandad on about?
how good it was when we scored these fucking goals of Sunday League and how good it was.
Yeah.
The fact he's got that on tape.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, his mindset
is different to
is
us.
different. His mindset's trying to top it now.
Yeah.
He's just constantly chasing it.
He's
They'll be
thinking
like,
about the Chelsea slip rather than the fucking.
That's done now, isn't it? Because he's not playing anymore. And I need to eclipse that.
It's like
The same way when I see Stormzy come out on a guest appearance at like a festival, and there's like 50 sea of people, and they're not expecting him, and then the bing bang, it lands, and then he comes out, and everyone just goes fucking mad, and then that wave.
Yeah, but you know he's thinking.
Wave.
You know he's thinking
about me. I can't get that at Blackpool Comedy Station.
I was gonna say, it was like, you know,
he's thinking about every bad
to
gig.
The fucking mic.
Every bad gig he's ever had, he's thinking about.
Never mind going mental when they see me. They won't even let me get to the microphone before they think, fuck this cunt.
Yeah. I've already started judging him.
It's like no matter how many times you play the frog on a weekend, you're still going to always get there and remember the time you got gonged off.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you mean? Nah.
That's just the.
I got gonged off so many times.
That's the mindset Storms he's going to have. Like, even doesn't matter how much euphoria he gets, the back of his head's always going to be all this shitty little pubs with too much white working class men going, the fuck's this grind?
Nah, but he'll just be thinking it happens all the time now, that constant wave of love he's getting from 20,000 people.
But yeah, maybe he does have that thing of, you know, like when you're doing a gig and you can only see the person who's not enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's just
the noise he hears. The noise.
He's used to it.
But I look at it and I go, oh, I just want that so bad. And then
I don't know. You know what I'm like. I'm a narcissist. Part of me thinks, I reckon people do that when I'm smashing hot water. People are seeing me on Armand Street going, fuck, I wish I could smash the gig now. You know the noise he's getting back from that crowd? I wish I could get that. Look what he says, you're not in a minute. What's your reference C4 and just get them on side?
I wish I could have that moment of scoring that goal. Like, say you score them shit goals and...
So, would you not get certain moments from like gigs? Because that's one thing I want to ask you. You've been supporting Jeff Norcott. Yeah. You're very like lefty socialist, left wing. Yeah. And he's sort of proud Tory cunt. Do you ever get like a little thrill from the fact that if you do well at his gigs, you're a bit like, you're all laughing at you're all laughing at the communist, you cunts.
Yeah. Well, I out myself as one anyway. So like Jeff introduces me on as a socialist.
Does he?
Yeah. It's like just so that it's already been done. You know what I mean?
My crowd would never know what one of them is. So.
And then, but yeah, it's good. It's a good laugh though, because I've got one or two bits that are definitely sort of like these lot won't agree with this. Yeah. So if I get them to laugh at it. Like, if I get them to laugh at Thatcher dying, I think, that's a good...
Surely all Norcott's lot aren't, like, proper... It's just a bit like... It's a bit
mostly central right.
It's pretty mixed. It's pretty mixed, to be honest with you.
It's not like that bad, is it? It's not like he's going out there being like...
It's not like EDL or...
It's just a label, though, isn't it? Like, the fact that he comes out and calls himself a Tory, like... Yeah. I can't think any of my mates that go and see him just because he calls himself a Tory.
Because the only place that when I was supporting him... They didn't like me was in Lancaster, and that was the most sort of like Tory audience, because I think it was like all the people from like from the country, like from the villages. So there was lots of people wearing Barber,
Barber,
and the
Gant sweaters,
and it's like I got like
the classic.
I picked up like no new followers on Twitter, like that afterwards, and everyone that was commenting would sort of like, when I looked at their profiles, they were like the leader of the Young Conservatives.
You go through
that area.
I've seen some of them comment on the Sky thing I did when they announced the lineups, and obviously you get some of the things going fucking. Any comedians on and all that shit, and then the one going like something like slagging off Russell Kane and all the big ones, and that, and you click on the profile, and it's some 50-year-old fella with like fucking shades on, with like bald with grey hair and all this, and then you go through some of his profile photos of Tim and his dog, a dodgy selfie, then it's the fucking White Cliffs of Dover with full Get Out on. You know what I mean?
By Twitter, dogs have shit opinions about everything. Proper talk bollocks dogs.
But like the one was the Cliffs of Dover, and with a fucking Union Jack above it. Get out.
Fuck off with full.
Yeah, you're thinking, this guy doesn't like any of the on the lineup.
Whenever you get sort of slagged off by people, because occasionally get retweets about. When someone like retweets you with with a quote tweet, of just sort of trying to get all the right
remarks or something you said,
it's trying to get a pile on, and then you have a look at the people having a go at you, and you do go through the profiles like, they're all just cunts. So that's fine then if they don't like me. I'm clearly doing the right thing.
I love it when someone gives me like a snag comment on YouTube.
I'm not bothered by it.
I always give them a little like, let them know I've seen it. just a little like, just like, just so you know I've seen it now. So like, just know I've checked you out. I like the idea of them sitting there going, oh, fuck, like even in reality they're all thinking, got him. Yeah. So I'm sitting there thinking they're shitting themselves.
So someone took exception to my bit about Islamophobia by saying, well, maybe people were Islamophobic because their relatives were killed by Islamic terrorists. And I replied to him and said, did that happen to you? And he went, well, no. I was like, well, it was like easily disprovable, that argument then, isn't it?
Yeah. They don't know they're getting involved with a barrister. They think they're getting involved with one of us cunts. Fucking ill thought out pieces of shit.
So he's going to tell him, fuck off, you rat.
Yeah, he'll tie. Yeah. You'll just go, well, are they? And then we'll go, fuck off, you stupid cunt.
Who you fucking talking to, you little rat?
Just not measured at all in anything.
No. Oh. I think there's anything else I wanted to ask you now. Oh yeah, you sound like you had something to say about the weirdest thing from prison law that you come across. Go on, we'll leave it on that.
It was this guy, because what they do is like phone you up all the time, because they're bored and they just so they all come up with like.
Are they allowed as many calls they want if it's to solicitor?
To certain numbers, because one of the things this guy asked. He phoned me up. There were two things. Can you
get me a takeaway?
One of them was like, he said, I'm in trouble with the warden. I said, what for? He said, because I've been like phoning numbers I'm not allowed to phone.
Sex,
like,
lads.
all right. Yeah. So I said, well, what's he said? Is he taking away your phone privileges?
Yeah.
Because they can't stop you phoning your solicitor. So
yeah.
And he said no. I said, what's he said then? He says, well, he says if I do it again, then he'll take away my phone privileges. I said, so what do you advise? I said, don't do it again. And he went, all right, yeah, thanks, and like hung up. That was like it was just short.
Yeah.
Then he rings you again and goes.
Then he phoned me up again for something. This bloke, this guy is a triple murderer, right? And he's just getting in trouble for all sorts of trivial shit in prison, and he was really softly
gang murders, or what murders?
There was No, it was like a fight in a pub that he'd gone a bit sort of mental and stabbed a lot of it. Like,
he killed 3 in one go. Like, oh fuck,
yeah.
That doesn't sound like it's like sort of like an accident. Sounds
I think he's definitely cock of the pub then. Like, no argument there. Like, you're cock of the pub.
Right. And so anyway, the next time he phoned me up was to say that he'd been in trouble again. So that he'd been nicked. That's what they call it. It's a nicking. He'd been nicked for putting his tray back in the wrong place after lunch. He was like, I just left it on the side rather than putting it on the tray trolley thing.
And this is bollocks.
And then I was like, all right. He said, well, everyone else was doing it though. So I don't see why they're just singling me out. Blah blah. So it's because you're a dick and you get in trouble for that sort of thing all the time. Yeah. And he said, so I was just like. Generally, a lot of your job was just placating them, just parenting you literally, just vent at me, and then you can hang up and you can get on with your day of doing whatever it is. But then he said, would it help if I got a character witness to come forward for me? I was like what, a character witness is going to say, you're not the sort of person who would ordinarily leave your tray in the wrong place. And he said, yeah. I was like, well, yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine.
You got nothing else to do, whatever.
Yeah, nothing else to do. It's got to do something.
Yeah, so
like this podcast, got to do something, haven't you? That was justification for it. Got to do something.
It was easier just to say, then it would have been to explain why that's not going to happen. So then I was waiting. I thought I genuinely didn't think anything else would happen. But then about a week later, I get a letter in the post directed to me. In like purple ink, it's written in
gel pen.
And I open it up. Yeah, it's written in like a purple gel pen.
Raspberries.
In like proper sort of like 13-year-old girl writing. And it was this guy, and it's his cellmate. So he's a murderer as well. That he's got to do his character evidence.
Yeah.
And he did this long, very formally worded letter, which was like, I have known Mr. Smith for a number of years, and I consider him to be a fine fellow, and blah. It was like really weird. Like, and then he says, he was like, it was written in this weird because he thought I'm going to write in a way that lawyers will appreciate. So he wrote it.
No one else would rather say so with.
Yeah, exactly. This rather sort of like, and it was literally like, he's not the kind of person who would leave his tray in that kind of place.
These two fucking psychopaths.
There's two nutters just together, just concocting this story to get away with something that's like nothing. They're not in trouble or anything. And then it's about a side and a half long of all his virtues, his cellmate. And then he says, like, at the end of it, he says, I hope this is of assistance. If you need to contact me further, you can find me. I was like, I fucking know where you are. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You can find me on the book above.
And then he'd signed it though. It says, "Yours sincerely, Lucifer Diablo." So his character witness had changed his name by default. So I was like, I'm gonna fucking put that in. That's
He's calling me like the devil. Yeah. Do you know you've got? You know you've got character missions for. He's the devil. Like, yeah. Oh.
You bear in mind, people have lost their lives because we're laughing at this fucking shit. But there are some people that have been devastated by what these fucking psychos have done.
Yeah.
They are funny though. Like they are like it is just like you think it's all like complicated and everything, but it's just like some fellas in there bored out their mind.
Yeah, just
bored, taking a piss and just like might as well write a fucking letter. And like
they've actually got nothing else to do. You know what I mean?
Like what else is there to do apart from learn or something? But they go, can't be arsed with that.
The interesting one, you got to see like the romances as well between two men who weren't gay, but because they're in prison, there's literally no one else to have any contact with who they would want you to. Can you help me get my boyfriend moved into
really?
Like, yeah, and they'd send you like as proof of it, like the love letters they've sent to each other, and God.
Yeah,
it was excruciating, to be honest with you. Some of it, it was like it was.
Why? What?
No, save that for the next one.
Yeah.
Go on. What were they saying?
No, you can't have it. Look, the last one then. Has anyone ever asked you?
See you at Chow.
The prison. Has anyone ever asked you to do something? Like obviously you shouldn't do
something illegal.
Well, something illegal. Well, I suppose the mass needs to do anything's illegal, isn't it? But maybe just been like, can you go and see me ma on a birthday and tell her I love her, or has there anything like?
You used to get that a little bit, yeah. So there was one guy he was in Manchester actually. He was at HMP Manchester.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced actually he was the only one who hadn't done it.
Yeah.
He was a gang killing, but I think he was like the youngest member of the gang, and they fucking set him up to take the responsibility for it.
Like me with the copper.
Yeah. So he used to sort of like, I had sort of quite a bit of sympathy for it, to be honest with you. So he used to ask for things like, is it all right if I send you this? Because can you take this round to my mum and all that sort of stuff? So I'd go and do that for him because actually it was
are you allowed to do stuff like that?
Yeah. Because it's a weird relationship you've got with them because you sort of assisting them throughout the prison system. Often a lot of it isn't really legal work you're helping them with. It is just that you being the
keeping
person
them some
because they're allowed to contact you as often as they want. You know what I mean? So it's almost like it's a weird sort of.
Have you reckon any of them ever asked you to do anything illegal or anything like?
I think some of them. I think there was one guy who was a Dutch diamond smuggler. Yeah. Who I think he was definitely trying to get us to send some things on like some messages to people on the outside. But he was a category A prisoner because he had this connection to this like proper high value organised crime world. Yeah. Smuggling diamonds. So I think he was trying to do stuff. So like we were very wary.
Well, what was he trying to do? Anything you can think of?
I can't remember off the top of my head really. It was always like, if I send you this letter, can you send it on to this person?
Yeah.
And I was like,
you've implicated that.
No. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not unless you tell me what it is, and he wouldn't tell you what it was. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah.
But the thing is, though, if he just lied to you, would you have been able to do it?
Well, I think
you said that. Can I read the letter? That's what
you'd have to check what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Would you have to that like?
Well, yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to believe him because these are master manipulators, aren't they?
Yeah. That's what I mean. I want to know how much responsibility you have, sort of thing. Because
it's like because
that was me. I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, lad.
Yeah. So it's like you would.
Just 28p for the stamp, though.
Well, that's why you're not in a solicitor or a barrister because you'd be nicked.
Yeah,
because they go like, this is the best barrister. He's a fucking idiot and he'll do anything for you.
I mean, there's quite a few solicitors who get caught up in it all. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's quite glamorous, and they get excited by the whole sort of like organised crime world. And
I thought what had happened if someone like gangster got in my cab and was like, drive to so and so. I'll give you so and so.
Well, yeah, you always think about these scenarios.
Yeah, no worries, lad. Yeah, sound. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's go to ours. I'll park my cab up, and we'll do it in my car so no one suspects it. Then, and we'll just jump in the car and do it in that.
Why though? What's in it for you?
I'm not a grass.
Yeah, but you're not. You're not a grass. But you go like, I don't want to be involved in it.
Yeah, but not really involved. Listen, he's trying to earn an honest living, sort of.
What, by fucking killing a load of cunts?
There's no drug dealers with money abroad. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's no drug dealers hiding fucking money. It gets spent in England in the local economy.
So you're an advocate of drug dealing?
I think it all should be legal, like, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's not crime, then is it? Then they lose their income. Then they got to go and work and sell it and fucking boots.
Ironically, if they legalised it and taxed it, more of the money would be sent offshore, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's it. As long as the drug dealer's not claiming benefits and not selling not selling it to kids.
So, but the benefit fraud.
Yeah, but they are selling it to kids, though, aren't they? That's the thing. It works its way down.
It does trickle down quite often.
As an advocate of cocaine,
well, I would say there's loads of drug dealers around our way. I see them all the time. Is that you've got to admire
County
the work
lines.
ethic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they properly put the hours in, don't they?
do.
I couldn't be arsed with it. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
Because you can't clock off, can you? You know, it's like...
No, well, there's different levels.
Yeah,
like,
but if you don't want to do the delivery, I don't
there's a
think
fella
they
who sells-
they go like, oh, fine, I'll be there. You go, fuck off, you crackhead. There's no drug dealer going out the way to get somebody a 40 bag, is there?
There's a fella who sells drugs in our pub who only sells it in our pub.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he just goes, I'm happy with my little niche. Got me market.
Literally got his
Little 500 quid a night.
What?
Is it like a little side
Yeah,
hustle
just
for
like
him?
a little...
Yeah. He works in quite a respectable job.
Right, okay.
Victimless.
And,
Victimless drug dealing.
Just deals it in the pub to the lads in the pub, and that's his little patch.
What a gent.
No. There'll be anyone coming to his house to be mayhem, be made. They're like, what are you fucking doing? And all that. It's just literally in the pub to the lads in the pub. That's it.
Right.
That's
As
like-
long as it stays
his
that way
little
and he doesn't
patch.
go
Nice
greedy
little-
or somebody doesn't look at him and go, not happy with what... Do you know what I mean? You're just in that
Well,
world,
he's only selling
aren't
to
you?
people he knows, isn't he? That's everyone.
I know,
knows.
but you're still in that world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
That's once if you're buying it, then you go, well, you're just out of the world. You're a customer. But if you're selling it, you're in that world, which is what I'd be like. Even if it's like, if you're going to go in, you might as well be getting a bit more than what you get. Depends what he's picking up. if he's making himself $1,000 a weekend in the boozer,
I don't know what he's making. Probably not that. It's probably a few £100 a week.
it's just not worth it, from my view.
It's a
Little side hustle.
yeah, it's
Never
not-
leave.
Yeah,
Just
but for what?
It's like being a semi-pro footballer.
So what?
Just
Say,
goes
say
in,
he's
goes
got,
in with
say
loads
he's
of 20
got
bucks in his pocket.
400 quid's worth of coke on him a weekend in the boozer.
Yeah.
He gets cut. The police, for whatever reason, come in. They find out he's doing this. They want to just, and they're obviously probably not going to nick him.
I reckon police probably know he's doing it and just aren't arsed at that sort of level.
That's what I mean. So,
yeah.
so is that
That's
what's
probably,
happening?
That's probably what's
But if
happening.
some knobhead copper who knew him, doesn't like him, decides to try and get on it, what's he getting there? Like if he gets caught, they come in, they go, we're just
The
going to.
problem is it's when they're lifting him sort of thing, because they've got to lift him between his house and the pub.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he gets in the pub, jacket's off. Jacket's put where he knows. Anyone's jacket then.
Yeah.
So it'd be
they'd have
difficult to
catch him with
prosecute.
it physically on him, and it'd have to be a certain amount that could show that it was for.
Yeah.
And
So-
basically, it wouldn't be worth it if it's just someone. If he's only selling at that level,
If you get caught with a gram on you, what's
it's just
happening there?
possession.
And what you getting there? You getting
You'll
a
probably get. It depends on what
Depends
else is
What number of offences and stuff like that.
you
all
walking between boozers in town, and they stop for whatever reason. You get stopped, and then a gram falls out.
Yeah.
Or what's happening then? Because then if I'm
either-
okay,
Is was
I'll
he
then
just
start
checking
doing
himself, yeah?
cocaine.
Was he like right? What happens if I buy a book? I want to
I was
know
going to say
how
this
much
is gonna
cheaper I
be-
can get
This
it.
is basically me asking you, is it okay
Is
for
it
me to
worth
have
me
a gram on a
saving-
weekend?
This was he going? Is it worth me saving myself 40 quid by buying it in bulk?
Yeah.
It's well, no, it's.
Can I go out and just sniff a gram in front of a cop and go, oh, sorry, mate?
It's
Certain coppers, yeah.
Certain coppers would turn a blind eye to it, yeah, because of what.
Not me, though. They look at me and go, you cunt in that
Yeah,
overcoat.
before, yeah.
What they would use it for is what you were saying before, is like if they wanted a reason to get you in trouble, then that's what they'd use it for.
But then what
For the
could
most
happen?
part.
What's the maximum I could potentially get with if they go,
For
you've
just
got a
for
gram of
straight possession?
Yeah, with a gram of cocaine.
I mean, you can get prison, but it's
That's
all
what I
done
mean.
at the mags. But you'd never get sent to prison just for possession,
Is that on the
So
max?
what would
Is it the coke?
because it's like
I'll represent you. You'll win.
So what would you
Either
get
way,
then?
I think.
What would you get then? What would you?
I reckon you'd probably just get a fine, or
Do you reckon?
you'd probably get some. No, you get a community penalty, sort of like a bit of unpaid work,
50
and
hours.
and it'd make you go. If it was possession, you were saying it's for my own personal use, they'd make you go and do some like drug course or something.
You go and do the old gram.
So right, I've got to do 100 hours worth of
In front-
community
you can have
service.
all of that in front of us now, and I hope you've learned your lesson.
100 hours community service and a 500 quid fine.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
But it all depends on like what else you've done and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
You'll get away with it. Be sound.
But like, for the most
sounds-
part,
I'll get on the beat
they
now.
wouldn't be that bad.
Right, Kehoe, where can we find you outside of here? So
All right.
where we find them, barely legal.
On Twitter, we've just set up a new one. It was literally if you search "Barely Legal" on Twitter, you'll find the web the part.
Yeah, it's going to be an
Yeah,
interesting one
yeah.
to search for, isn't it?
And barely, yeah. So we're going to be. I'm trying to think when this is going to go out. We're probably just about
4 or
starting
5
it
weeks.
now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll be wherever you can get your podcasts.
So,
we'll be on
so
there.
it's going to be at barely legal on
At
social
Barely
media.
Legal on social media.
Right. And
That's going to be a
But if
naughty
you
one to
but if
search
you
on
search
Instagram.
Barely
isn't it?
Legal, the Comedy Law Podcast, you'll
Yeah.
find it. Yeah.
Right, and it's just going to be an audio platform or
Audio platform for now,
right,
and then we might
Bit of video.
do a bit of video as and when either A, Boardman moves house,
Right.
or B, I convert my loft. So,
Need the video in it.
and then where can we find you personally?
me personally,
Yeah,
you can
besides just
Online,
Googling Chris Kehoe.
online. We don't mean your home address. 'Cause I know you went personally like, what's going on?
So my
Well, you probably normally find me at the plot.
yeah, I'll be at the allotment.
At the allotment.
So it's at Mr. Kehoe 79. So
Sound.
MRKEHOE 79.
Right, and anything else you want to plug before we go?
No, nothing else.
No.
Sound. That's been another one then.
It's been a good chat.
Last
Enjoyed
question.
that one.
If me and Wazzy family were to get together at some point,
Yeah.
is it, say I married his sister, he married my sister, am I moving up or is he getting dragged down?
You know what? I think something a bit of both. I
knew
think
he
you would.
fucking-
I think you would infiltrate the middle class world quite easily.
Yeah.
They'd fall for your sort of superficial charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me tell by charm, yeah.
Like that, and
Okay.
then I can see you like running some of their middle class scams for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in a way, I think they would. It means you would take your copper stripping game,
Yeah.
but up to a more like financial level that the middle classes appreciate.
Right.
So,
So am I being dragged down at all?
No,
But we don't know we're being dragged down.
No, you'll be being dragged into a world that you don't.
Yeah.
Want to get
Yeah, well,
involved in.
that's my family's
you've been
concern with
moved
me doing this
sideways.
podcast.
It'll be a sideways move.
That's why I have to remind my family he's privately educated because they think I'm going to get dragged into a seedy underworld with him. And then I'm going to be the guy that gets the fucking. I'll take the rap.
Could happen.
Exactly.
How much your favourite guy at the moment? Got a bit of IPTV. Right, thank you very much to that.